Right. They're trying to get it packed up.
Busting up his spot. Like people are going to be lined up there for haircuts now. He won't be able to get back in.
You got to keep your little honey. Like people who fish, they keep their honey hole to the
Plowsy's
side.
right.
They don't just reveal where they're fishing at.
Okay. Orson Woods Wacko is now in, and he's issued a response to Mr. Licks. Hey, Plowboy, which ride does Mr. Licks work at Six Flags? Thanks. That's from the Orson Woods Wacko.
What would be the premier ride to work? Mr. Freeze? Probably because it's cold in there.
That's what me and Madison always have the conversation. The worst one would be the Batman because of the lack of central AC.
And it's
Which one has the most vomit, bro?
Yeah, you don't want people throwing up.
Honestly, I think.
Dude, the Excalibur thing.
Yeah,
the thing that sends you upside down.
And I don't like the Ninja because in the Ninja,
there's a lot of vomit there, bro.
And if you're on the mic, you have to be very. You have these little cheesy sayings that you have to say, and I could not do that for 8 hours without wanting to jump off that ride.
Yeah.
So I think the Minter Freeze is the ultimate. But Madison said her friend worked in the Western shop where you kind of put a penny in and you make yourself a little belt buckle.
Oh yeah.
And she said that one's the spot because you could take breaks whenever you want.
Hello, it's Jackson for Rosalita's. TMA listeners know that Rosalita's Cantina has the best patio and the best Tex-Mex in town. From tableside guac to piled high nachos, the amazing menu at Rosalita's is full of classic Mexican dishes. Plus, it's always time for a margarita, and Rosalita's has the most delicious house and specialty margs in town. Enjoy happy hour specials Monday through Friday from 3 to 6, and let Rosalita's cater your next event. Check out rosalitascantina.com or visit the downtown or DePere location today. Time to get your fiesta on at Rosalita's.
Butter me up, Daddy.
The Ryan Kelly Morning After.
KPN-TFM HD2.
Yesterday I watched the hockey game and I finished Ozark.
Oh, you got that knocked out.
Yeah, I don't know what the statute of limitations are when we can actually talk
Doug, what
about
is
this.
the statute of limitations?
Just talk about it whenever you want to.
2 episodes to go.
No, because, it's only a week in. And, Tim, what's your thoughts on this? Because of the binge thing now and...
12 days since it's been released, I believe, is the math.
Has it? I thought it was last weekend.
April 29th.
Wednesday, we should be able to talk about it.
That's when you can talk about it?
2 weeks, man.
I don't know. People say, I haven't watched it yet. Well, when can we talk about it? It's
Well, if you do it on Pepper and Genie, you just say spoiler alert, then wait 5 seconds. You say you have 5 seconds to change if you don't want to hear Ozark spoilers, and then talk freely.
No, I think what we're going to do is not do that, and then in the notes section, I'm going to put definitely not talking about Ozark's new season.
Yeah, I don't, but then our numbers go down because, people haven't watched yet. They're not going to listen.
We're following our numbers pretty. I don't even know how to do that, but.
I don't either. I'm sure they'll go down if we talk about the Ozark and nobody's, haven't seen it yet, not listening. So, I want to talk about it, but I can't because I don't know.
What's the statute of limitations?
I don't know when we're allowed to.
I can tell it's really a difficult moment for you.
I want to say something so bad, and
Why?
Because I know you guys haven't watched it yet either. So.
Why do you want to say that? Say it so bad.
Have you?
You have takes so hot that they just need to escape.
Yeah, I want to say something.
Well, maybe we give people a warning, and they can come back in 30 seconds after you get this thing off your
Plowsy hasn't watched. Plowsy's still got 2 episodes.
I'd like to have it be.
Can you close your ears for 30 seconds?
Oh, no.
No, and I'd like Jackson to watch it too, so we can all talk about it.
Okay, well then I guess we shouldn't have brought it up.
We brought it up because I asked the question: when can we talk about it? If everybody on the dais has seen it, but it's only 2 weeks old, do you have to wait a month? Do you have to wait 6 weeks to give people a chance to watch it?
I'm going to put on the oven mitts because I think this hot take is coming out.
I don't know, the whole Netflix thing now with streaming and.
I'm super into talking about shows and movies and stuff, obviously right after they come out, because that's when the takes are, of course, the freshest. I think the best platform to do it is a podcast, and I think you do is say spoiler alert, wait 5 seconds.
Oh, Pepper and Genie right there, Doug. It's perfect for Pepper and Genie.
I think that's the move.
I think we're.
That's what I said. Our numbers will go down because I know there's a ton of people who haven't watched it yet. But
so by the thousands, people will
it.
turn the show off if you say, "Boy, I didn't think he'd get killed in the last episode."
I don't know how many downloads we get.
Don't let the numbers sway the content.
All right, well, we'll finish it up today, Plowsy. We'll talk about it tomorrow. I've got takes.
Oh,
takes.
Brother.
I've got takes. We've got lots and lots of takes.
Brother.
Just think Game of Thrones.
Just think Game of Thrones.
Okay, bad ending.
Khaleesi.
You couldn't help yourself, could you? I'm glad I had these oven mitts on.
That's kind of a
couldn't
spoiler.
help yourself, yes.
That might be worse than saying what actually happened.
Yep.
No, you don't know what happened.
I was saying it's terrible.
Is Laura Linney going to ride around on a dragon?
I've seen it.
You on the same page?
I'm not going to say anything because I think that would impact. It's prejudicing people.
And then maybe I'm lying. Maybe it was a great ending.
Doug, all of a sudden,
Boy,
Phil
deep
Ivey
cuts.
is on the 6th level.
It was either a terrible ending or a great ending.
I definitely
Either way.
don't have the nuts.
I had no problem with Game of Thrones. People think Game of Thrones is terrible. It didn't ruin it for me.
You're not going to be able to get through this show without releasing a hot take that you have ready to go.
No, I'm done.
Let it rip. Just let her go.
I'm done. Tim and I will talk at the break.
Okay.
And then once Plowsy watches it, Jackson hasn't started it.
I've never seen the show.
Oh, okay. Well, then you don't count.
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, if I want to eventually watch it.
Yeah, but you haven't even watched season 1 yet.
Right, but
we can't wait for you.
I'll get to it one day.
All right.
We gotta wait for Jackson.
Your statute of limitations is up. As soon as Plowsy's done, we'll talk about it.
Nice. I can do it.
Okay.
I think I can squeeze it in.
That should save our numbers.
You boys won't spoil anything. Ken won't get any names or details right, and Plowsy will be so high he might talk Game of Thrones anyway. Some Brad and Boca.
Good point.
It could be.
Yeah, it probably is safe.
Yeah, it will be. Now that the one chick's brother was his name, and what was the nephew's name, and that uncle, what was... I forget names.
Yeah, what's funny was me and Iggy actually talked about what we think was going to happen in the second part, and I said somebody was going to die, and they already died before.
I think I said that.
Yeah,
Somebody caught me. Because I'd forgotten. That's why I had to go back and watch season 3 before I got, even though I'd watched the first part of season 4. Why are they washing blood off? And I couldn't remember. So I said, yeah, I think Wyatt dies. And then somebody said, he died at the end of last season, dumbass. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm like, oh.
No point in watching it anymore.
I haven't even seen Game of Thrones, and I know what he's referring to. Please stop. That's from the 502. Doug, that was a sincere request.
Yes, what happened is Ruth got some dragons and came out and killed everybody in the Ozark. That's what happened.
See, now that would get me to watch.
God, the placement of the dragons, I just will never. I can't not watch that and watch how terrible the battle sequence was.
Those are some of our best episodes. You and I breaking down Game of Thrones like 2 6-year-olds.
I loved it when you went back in the day.
Yeah, me thinking it was real. Yeah, like, only like 600 years ago.
Like it's in the history books.
They had some rough times back then. You wonder how the human species even survived with fire-breathing dragons flying around. They would have given us a lot of trouble.
Oh, yeah. But no, I'm sure it's going to be a good final season.
Well, we're almost 10 minutes into it now. Go ahead, Leather. Spill your guts.
Go ahead, Leather. Spill your guts. Hey, this is Tim McKernan of TMA, and I am thrilled to have new clients on board Longo Biggs Injury Law. CD Longo and Doug Biggs. And Doug, the thing I want our audience to know is that you guys are local and you guys are different. Tell our audience how you're different.
Yeah, Tim, both CD and I are from St. Louis area, born and raised in the South City area or the South County area, and we are also thrilled to be part of the TMA family now. If anyone signs up with us for an injury case, their case is treated like they are family. We get to know you, we get to know the ins and outs of your case, and make sure we represent you like you are part of our family. We're not like one of the large firms in the area who might take your case and just treat you like another number or another file. You'll get our personal attention. It's either CD and I who will handle your case directly. And if you are injured in an accident, please remember us. You can visit us at longobiggs.com, and that's Biggs with 2 G's.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan, and I am here with Ryan Kelly. And Ryan, you have a program that may be of interest to some of our listeners, and that's with reverse mortgages.
Definitely a few of the listeners, if not a lot of their parents for sure, will definitely love a reverse mortgage. And this isn't a new product. It's been around for quite some time, but right now it is very popular. If you are 62 years old or older, you may qualify for a reverse mortgage. And I'll give you kind of an idea of what that looks like. Let's say that you owe $200,000 on the home, and maybe they're appraising for $400,000. So you have this $200,000 of equity, but you don't want a monthly payment. You can't afford it. That's why you are where you are, battling to pay the prescription costs, the credit cards, help out the family, get everybody together for the holidays. Well, with that reverse mortgage, you can take that equity out and you don't have to pay it back. You don't have any monthly payments. You have nothing until you sell the home. So it's a great way for our folks that are 62 or older to tap into the equity and not have any payments until they sell the house. Learn more about reverse mortgages today by visiting thehomeloanexpert.com.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPNT-FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day. Rise and shine, St. Louis. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on KPNT-FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. At the Morning After STL on YouTube and on TMASTL.com with Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Iggy Strode, the Plowboy, and Action Jackson.
7:07 in St. Louis. You are listening to the Ryan Kelly Morning After from the Michelob Ultra Studios. Welcome to our Munganess, St. Louis Acura and Alton Toyota 7 o'clock hour. Timothy Michael McKernan, Kenneth Iggy Strode, the Plowhawk, Action Jackson sitting in Douglas Elvin Vaughn's chair as he vacations in the Mediterranean. And KG in O-Town is in the Horton Watkins studio today. And Jackson collects rent. He actually is starting to monetize that when people sit in his studio, and I think that's a shrewd Horton Watkins move.
Gotta wet my beak a little.
I don't blame you. Boy, the people have already started sending in texts. They want to set the tone for the discussion here. Just heard the I've Got a Landing Strip segment. Oh my, Iggy is great. That's from the 314. What is the I've Got a Landing Strip segment? Is Iggy saying I got producer?
I guess
landing strip.
Last one was Iggy really wants to spoil Ozark, and then TMA Sex Retreat. So it could be either one of those.
Were you talking about a landing strip there?
The Sex Retreat sounds like
you've made it clear you're smooth like a porpoise.
I said it once, though, imitating jokes as it drops is, I got a landing strip. So I don't know if that's the one he's talking about.
A little more sing-songy, I feel like.
Yeah, and that turned into a whole best-of segment?
It's crazy what we can do with the audio.
Yeah, again,
by the way, I have to tip my cap to some members of the audience who... I looked in the camera. Look at these baby blues looking at you as you pull out that Hitachi magic wand right now. Camera 2, am I right, director? That's correct. If you want things changed, email me, TMCKERNAN at InsideSTL.com, and then I have information. And people did utilize, most of them emailed my Inside STL account. Some people used the app, which you can use as well, although I don't get my Hubbard messages as effectively as I get my Inside STL messages. Do you guys fall into that category?
Yeah.
And I think it's because the old email system used to just blend with our emails, but on this we're on Outlook and it's a separate app and I just don't check it. So then I feel terribly because the sales staff's emailing me and I don't get them until I come in here and then I log into it to do the show. But anyway, any questions, requests, because a lot of people, as Plowhawk knows, they discussed the skeleton. The skeleton.
Yeah, they did.
And they want to see changes.
Correct.
To the skeleton.
Correct.
So then I can forward these to Tommy and to Marty. Now they're tending to, I say respectfully, bigger projects right now with the launch of a brand new morning show on 105.7 The Point, or the additions of Rafe and Learn to the program. So I'm not going, you pick your spots because you can't understand when people have things on their plate. But then, yeah, if they can change the skeleton, it's not like the Plowhawk goes, I've built a skeleton and I must adhere to it.
Yeah.
You're just doing what the skeleton is. And I assure you, my guess is anyway, I shouldn't say I assure you, if I say to Tommy and Marty, hey, the audience has expressed an interest in best ofs as opposed to replaying the show, they'll go, great.
Yeah,
That's exactly how it will go.
it's super.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
How are you doing? Everything good?
Right.
And that'll essentially be the conversation.
And we have
we'll do it. I just got to pick my spot because, like I said, they got a brand new show on the Riz Show, or 2 editions, and that, as far as priorities go, will supersede anything that I would bring to the table at the moment.
And I did see the thread, and it's easy because we have a weekday and a weekend skeleton. Now, the weekday is probably what we'd use. I'd still like to replay a couple of segments just because we would run through an extra 9 hours of using our best of.
So you do want to adhere to the skeleton. You are pro-skeleton.
Just a couple of, I think, your segments you did that morning, I think, in the evening, maybe from 9 to midnight when you probably don't have a lot of traction there, maybe. Because you're going to run through a lot of your best ofs if you had 9 hours a day for Saturday. Sunday, that's 18 hours extra best ofs played in over a month span. I think you're going to really run through those maybe quicker than anticipated.
I was thinking, and this is not, I guess it's not like it's going to add $1 to my pocket. I couldn't care any less. But we do have a lot of good interviews on the Tim McKernan Show, not because of anything I did, but just the first 2 years of those things. Yeah, to put those in there in the rotation.
Yeah.
I would be just fine with that.
Yeah.
There's a couple really
more than happy
to add, and so anyway, there's another thing. But yeah, if the people want, I mean, why wouldn't we do it?
Those would be easy. That'd be easy. There's only, I think, we put maybe...
There's some profanity in there, probably.
You probably have to listen to the whole thing. And there's 4 4 or 5 sponsors intertwined in there.
That's correct.
But they're hour-long.
Yeah, but I
deals,
think I do with the interviews. I think I did them on the front end.
Yeah,
if memory serves.
You would always do it.
No, we'd put them in periodically. Like we'd find a spot that was open after an answer, and then put them in. So they're periodically, but there is some cussing in there too. So you'd probably have to listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Let's see what I got here. That was the first one. The next one, did you hear Learn ripping Iggy today on air for taking advantage of company dollars, spending all his time outside smoking? That's from the 314. The Learn clip I have in here today is her talking about threesomes yesterday, which I have not heard as of yet. So I'm anxious to hear, but I don't have anything in the audio. But if it happened today, we wouldn't have the audio.
I heard it, though.
Wow, I didn't hear it.
Jackson and his eyebrows went up.
So I was walking by the bathroom in the back where they have a speaker playing shows, and I heard Learn say Iggy, and I thought originally...
She's talking about you now.
I thought originally... I thought originally it was like a replay of our show, and then I heard Riz's voice, and I was like, oh, they're talking about Iggy right now on the Riz show. And that text was not correct. She was kind of saying, like people who smoke get smoke breaks, and it's, like, accepted, but, like, people who don't smoke can't just leave the workplace for 10 minutes and walk around. So that was kind of her point. She was like saying like Iggy on 105.7 HD2 takes 10 minutes a day or more to go out and smoke and do whatever he does. That's like basically the gist of it.
So she wasn't attacking Iggy so much as she was making an observation on the smoke break in general.
And Iggy was just an unfortunate example.
Yeah, because she could do the same thing here. I mean, in her break, she could walk outside if she wants to. She just don't smoke. But I know where she's coming from. I think it's kind of like a union law or something that people that smoke get 15 minutes, an hour to go out and get a smoke break.
Seems antiquated.
Something like that. Yeah.
Does seem a little outdated, but hey, take advantage of it if you can. Hey, movie boy, you struck me right in the heart with your latest starter pack post, and I don't appreciate. That's from Mr. Licks, and we were actually talking about it before the show started. I still have it at the top of my. I just lost it on my Instagram. The St. Louis starter packs, which of course Jackson does, but does it under the guise of St. Louis starter packs, and it was first off, you should be following this if you're on Instagram. St. Louis starter packs. It's starter pack anniversary theme 7. I'm rich, bitch. So the first one is my husband spends weekends at Old Warson starter pack. The next one is I always run into Jim Edmonds at Napoli starter pack.
That's really good.
Real Housewives of Lifetime Frontenac starter pack. Boys Night Out at the MAC starter pack. Brio and Frontenac Happy Hour starter pack. Happy Hour at Sportsman's Park starter pack. My Daddy Only Sits in the Green Seat starter pack. Ledoux Wedding starter pack. And Coming In from Ledoux for Opening Day starter pack. Just outstanding work.
Incredible stuff.
So, Jackson, nice job doing that before the show this morning.
Well, it's spend all damn day creating these starter packs.
I actually asked you that. I thought you really did do them.
What does that say about, as a parent, if you send your kid to CBG, you're just like accepting defeat?
That actually, all that stuff in there is in my wheelhouse growing up in that area, but I wouldn't make it. Plowboy has a foot-long Rice Krispie treat.
It is Lexington steel size.
Oh, it isn't beyond that.
And it looks like it's got some extra treats in there.
What do you have, like M&Ms mixed in the Rice Krispie treat, bro?
Yeah, they're called rainbow-coated chocolate pieces.
Rainbow-coated chocolate pieces, also known as M&Ms, but we're not going to pay M&Ms for
That is
damn
correct.
straight.
That is correct.
That's about 580 on the calories.
$2.50 a serving.
How many servings, bro? I'm going to set the over-under at, I'll say 2, but I could see it going
500.
Yeah.
The inner hippie in me came out last night, and I was actually on Amazon looking for lava lamps.
Oh, dude, that's actually pretty
I haven't
sick.
seen a lava lamp in a minute.
Yeah, I think they're cool. Just something for, in the bedroom at night, if you just want a little light in there.
No doubt.
Can you imagine?
And I was thinking, I'm going to give a size, and I'm going through the size. And when it said 9 inches, I'm measuring everything in porn penis size. I'm looking at this lamp. I said, okay, the Lexington? Yeah, it's about there. Yeah. That's how I was doing it.
That's when you know you're a pro.
Do any stag stars have, like, notoriously small weens?
I've never seen one.
There was a guy by the name of Mr. Pete who who was the guy to go to for your first anal. I actually know that, and I got to tell you something. I'm kind of proud that I actually was able to think of somebody.
Mr. Pete, I've never heard of him.
He was in a relationship, I think, maybe with Alexis Texas.
Good for
Which,
him.
if anything, if you think about what you need in order to,
yeah,
there you go. But yeah, I think he was on the quote unquote smaller end. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So he was.
I don't know if he was like a micro weed.
Sure. I just figured that like if some guys have the really big ones and that's their thing, the obvious.
Is there a kink for women?
Yeah,
for small weaned gentlemen.
I would have to think.
You think so? That's a kink?
If there's something out there, someone has a kink for it. As I truly believe.
But then it's really just for viewing pleasure because it's not really going to be able to do much for them.
Yeah, it's a fashion over function kind of deal.
No, I've seen two.
I've
seen two in a porn cuck situation where she's making fun of him, saying how small he is.
So, like, he had like a little button?
He's over like a little button doing that.
Iggy just masturbated to the little button in the air.
Well, you can see it on YouTube if you like.
Right, youtube.com/TMASTL.
2 fingers.
Let's see. Morning, Tim. I tuned into Balloon Party yesterday, and you were broadcasting with your pants halfway down the second segment, which you had rebranded the sex segment, and it was hot as hell. That's from Manupal Eligible. That is correct. My belt broke yesterday. And my pants were falling down while I was doing the show, and I called it the sex segment, and it was well received by the audience, as most things are on Balloon Party.
I think it went really well once the pants started. You were gripping your pants as you were doing the segment. It was just outstanding.
Morning, it was very, very naughty.
And the very few times that I'm here past 10 o'clock, I walk by there. Do you guys always stand up and do the show in 101?
Most of the time. I think most of the people who do the show, I think Randy might sit, now that I think about
Randy sits sometimes. I mean, they do. Most of the shows outside of us are 3 or 4 hours. So they might start standing and then sit and then stand up. It's a long time just to be standing.
Yeah, 3 hours for Randy's show, 1 hour for us, 3 hours for BK and Ferrari, and 4 hours for the Fast Lane.
Yeah, unless there's like a early blues game.
I was just curious. I've seen Jamie Rivers when I come in to do something in the afternoon. He's always standing up, too, so I don't know if there are even any chairs in there.
There's chairs. You can.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but...
Jamie Rivers has signed a contract extension. Do you see
Congratulations.
that?
He did. Absolutely.
Really?
Awesome. I love Jamie so much. He's the best.
Good morning, guys. The Cardinals have a problem, and that problem's name is MARMOL, hitting our slumping catcher third. Really, I know he did okay last night, but I'm not a results-oriented thinker like Tim, my hero. That's from Danny Tanner. Yeah, we are not results-oriented on this program. We do not kink shame, and we're pro-liberty. I think those are some of our tenets, and we are a swingers bulletin board with stock tips. There is a growing sentiment directed toward Ali Marmol that I didn't realize existed going into the season, which then makes me think people gave him kind of a free pass on, not a free pass, but weren't necessarily holding game one of the Phillies series against him. And I think that there is growing consternation with Ali Marmol as the Cardinals continue to kind of flop around. Plowhawk, you were there last night with the great Cucky the Dwarf, correct?
Yeah, I was with Cucky, his lovely lass, and Madison, and we had a great time. The best part was not watching the game, really. You could almost just feel by the guttural moans about what the score was, how many people were on base, who was pitching. Yeah, that team's terrible.
Wow.
But I absolutely love walking through the concourse. Had a nacho.
You had a helmet nacho?
Did you? A helmet?
And I wanted to get the helmet donuts. The problem with the helmet donuts is like
they had run out.
They were running out, and like I didn't want to get the bottom of the barrel. They didn't want to have them make more. It was the 7th inning. But yeah, that team is not good. And I love how Patrick Wisdom is in his prime and leading the league in home runs. We traded him for Drew Robinson, who's not even affiliated with the ball club anymore. That's a tough. It's just watching all these players. It's tough.
One of the things that I think is kind of flying under the radar because most of the focus is on starting pitching and Flaherty. If you were watching the game last night, I think it would be tough to say he had a bad outing. But I know I would imagine anyway, plenty of people who have dog avatars on Twitter did. And part of me thinks it might have nothing to do with the way he actually threw the ball. But we'll do a deep dive on that on Balloon Party. But the Cardinals aren't necessarily scoring a whole lot of runs. And certainly there's been talk of the struggles with runners in scoring position. But if you just want to go up and down the lineup, Up until last night, Contreras he'd gotten hot over the weekend, but he had been hitting in the 100s. Now he's up to 241 with 2 hits and an RBI last night. The Dylan Carlson situation, to me, requires a real deep dive. Yeah. Because how did he go from being a piece the Washington Nationals were interested in for Juan Soto to not playing in the not starting in the playoffs, and to losing the job in center field, and now that Lars Nootbaar is back, he's actually the Cardinals' 5th outfielder. Yeah. And that he's up bunting in the Sunday afternoon game against the Pirates with a runner on and Paul Goldschmidt up and then out. So you're saying at that point we're going to sacrifice this because we know he can't hit from the left side, and Paul Goldschmidt better get a base hit or else we're going into extra innings. And that's the guy that was the celebrated prospect 3 years ago and was one of the key pieces when the Cardinals were talking with the Washington Nationals, so much so that by his own words, this isn't Twitter insight, John Mozeliak went up to him and said, "You're not going anywhere," and that they viewed him as a young guy who can switch hit as a key part of the future. Well, that was 8 months ago. He didn't start in the playoffs. He lost the starting center fielder job to a guy who, 5 days into the season, the manager criticized his effort, and now he's the 5th outfielder. That's just an overall thing. The Cardinals could be, 11-7, and I would make the observation that the situation with Dylan Carlson is intriguing. But Arenado's had some at-bats where you go, it doesn't look like him yet. Just some bad at-bats. Yeah. He's still hitting .314, but there have been some bad. Nolan Gorman is the one guy at this moment that I look forward to seeing come up. But the numbers aren't great offensively, which is why when they put out that lineup to start the season, I go, man, it could be a great offense. It could be a great offense. But you could have said the same thing about last year's offense, and you'll say, well, the numbers were there, but if you look at it, the numbers were weighted toward when the Cardinals got a chance to play more of the Central teams, and that's where they did a lot of their work, and some of the butt-ass teams in the West and the East. And when they would face quality teams, they would really struggle, and you saw how that played out against the Philadelphia Phillies. So just something to keep an eye on while they also navigate a rotation that isn't exactly killing it. But I think it would be fair to say also the rotation has improved this third time through versus how it started the 2023 season. But bottom line is, when a team is off to a start like this, 7-10, and they haven't necessarily recently played teams that I think people are going to anticipate being there in September, October, i.e. the Rockies, Pirates, and Diamondbacks. And I recognize that at the moment the Pirates and Diamondbacks are playing above what expectations would be. I think that's when it brings extra concern in, if you're having problems with those teams. And really, the Cardinals were lucky to split the series with the Pirates.
Yeah, for sure. After Saturday alone, that was brutal. Yeah, it's tough to say Flaherty was out in innings 2 through 6 was outstanding. But, he struggled in the 7th. Palante going back-to-back, not ideal. 4-pitch walk and a grand slam. Tough. But, Gorman basically is the only one where you're like, well, he's going to give best effort and, hit the ball hard. Everyone else, Nootbaar's soft ground double play yesterday right to the second base there. It's not great at bats, not great situational hitting. And it's tough to, there's no, real issue there because they can hit just situationally.
Text in 314-881-TMA5. It's the Engineered Design Facilities text inbox, and that is how you can text into the program. You can also call in, and if you call in, you get to talk to KG in O-Town because he's back in the Horton Watkins studios. 636-9004-TMA, and you can email in for our Design Air Heating and Cooling email today. Design Air is online at designairservice.com. I was surprised by the quality of the weather yesterday. I thought yesterday was going to kind of be a crap day, and it wound up being good. Hawk was up.
A little windy.
But still, it wasn't as bad as what I was seeing on my phone.
What were you seeing?
I was seeing cold and cloudy.
Oh. Yeah, I had partly sunny, a little bit warmer, but still not what I would like it to be. But now, today, tomorrow, Thursday, right around 80. Weekend back in the high 50s, and then we're in the 60s and 70s. But I think after this weekend, I think we're done a lot with the 40s and 50s. I think we'll be in the 60s, 70s, and 80s after this weekend.
Well, that'll be lovely if and when it happens, because Design Air Heating and Cooling is the place you call right now. This is the time to get that air conditioning tuned up. Go to designairservice.com. You know it's going to get brutally hot. Probably a month from now, it'll be brutally hot. I personally like it, but I know plenty of people don't. And either way, you need your air conditioning firing on all cylinders, and that's where Seth Goldcamp and Design Air Heating and Cooling can take care of you. Online at designairservice.com, the official HVAC provider of TMA and the Tim McKernan Show podcast. It's Seth Goldcamp, Design Air Heating and Cooling. Doug is a client. I am a client. Say, friends, why don't you become a client as well? It's Design Air Heating and Cooling online at designairservice.com. And our text inbox is sponsored by Engineered Design Facilities. They're moving forward as the EDF Group, the most experienced data center and critical facilities service provider in the St. Louis market. Check out the newly revamped website, theedfgroup.com, and take a look at each of the 3 divisions they have to offer. EDF Group is your one throat to choke for all your critical facilities, data center, commercial fire alarm, and electrical and IT infrastructure needs. To contact the EDF Group, email fire@theedfgroup.com. Experience the EDF Group difference and learn more at theedfgroup.com. As the company moves forward as the EDF Group, please check out the newly revamped website. It's theedfgroup.com, and take a look at each of the 3 divisions they have to offer. Sponsor of our text inbox here on TMA, it's EDF. And if you're in the market for jewelry, support the official jeweler of TMA, and that is Glenn Betts Jewelers. Glenn Betts Jewelers. Iggy, you know the family, correct?
Very well. I know, well, I knew his father, Glenn. My dad.
Go back to 1941 is when he started that business.
Yeah, I remember in the early 60s as a little kid going with my dad to go get my mom's birthday present downtown.
That was downtown.
But I've known the family, and Craig I've known forever, and I went to grade school with his wife, Missy. So I've known the Betts forever. Great people and great jewelry store.
Well, they've been doing it in St. Louis since 1941, operated by the 3rd and 4th generations now of the Betts family. The Glenn Betts difference is you are served personally, not sold. And I was in there and I saw that firsthand, how people came in, and it was more of, how can we help, as opposed to, here, let me try to get you to buy something. Glenn Betts Jewelers develops relationships throughout generations of your family, too. They get to know your likes, lifestyle, and who and what you love. The 3 L's. It's GlennBettsJewelers.com. That's 2 N's on Glenn. BETZ Jewelers.com, located 1 mile east of 270 on Manchester and De Pere. In the jewelry business, there is good, better, and then there is Betts. The Betts family passion for serving their customers has been passed down from generation to generation. There it is, Glenn Betts Jewelers, new sponsor here on TMA. Friends of the Feather, we talked about at the outset of yesterday's program what took place with people looking for refunds on their Thursday Totem foursomes. If you want to play in the Totem, because people, I'm not mad about it. Some of the people in the text inbox were mad about what people did. They played by the rules. They used the USGA rules to their advantage. Now, I would tell you that there will probably be a no refund policy for 2024, but because of that, and because they got their foursome on Friday, then they asked for refunds on Thursday, we have foursomes available for the Thursday Totem. So if you want to play in it, there are a handful of foursomes available at TMASTL.com. The foursomes include all of your golf, even access to the putting green. You can also enjoy Michelob Ultra and seltzers all day long. We partner with Birdies for Bipolar, so portions of the proceeds go to Michael Wellington's charity, Birdies for Bipolar. It includes your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast from Donut Drive-In, lunch from Rockstar Tacos, and dinner from Rockstar Smash Burgers. Lisa Ann in attendance, Deke Totem in attendance, and wonderful whole sponsors throughout with various games and alcohol stations. It is the Totem, the 7th annual, presented by Michelob Ultra and also by the great people at Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota. A handful of foursomes remain. Just go to TMASTL.com on the Thursday date. Friday sold out in a minute. The Thursday date, people asked for refunds. Hubbard was kind enough to give them their refunds. And so there are foursomes for Thursday available at TMASTL.com. There it is. All right, we have the audio of Learn discussing on Riz show, her first day discussing threesomes. Jackson, you have heard this, I gather?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I have. Iggy, have you heard this?
I have not.
All right. Plowhawk, have you heard it?
No.
All right. Well, this is going to be our first. Let's take a listen. Nurse?
It would be a threesome with...
Okay.
with one of the ladies of the Bunny Ranch.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Bunny Ranch.
Go on.
Wow. Would you wear your leather hat like you said?
I don't know.
I'm sure you
I
had this
think
all
it would
planned out.
probably be one of the most awkward things that it would ever happen in my life.
Yeah. Is it more awkward to do that threesome or to do a threesome with like a friend that you guys know or somebody around town?
I think the whole thing's awkward.
Oh, it's so awkward everywhere. Okay.
You know, what are the rules? Did we discuss this before?
Right.
I'm imagining you do. We have safe words. What if I go too far? What if you go too far?
Yeah. I don't know what I would prefer. Like, I don't know if we're like, we want to do a three-way. If I'm going to the Bunny Ranch and we're doing some rando Bunny Ranch chick, and then we never have to see her again, and she doesn't have to know who we are, and we can just forget about it if we want to, if it was a terrible experience. Or, because I'm quite, like, I don't know, I like to care about people that I'm intimate with, you have a friend who says, hey, let's all do each other. And then you know.
And then when it's over, what do we do?
What do we do? But then you trust that person, like they don't have disease. You know, maybe they love you and they want to be lovely to you in the sack.
Well, after it's all over, like, what do we like, okay, that's the end of our transaction. And
see you at the barbecue next week.
Okay, well, we'll see you.
Bye.
Yeah, I don't know.
What if it lasts too long? What if it doesn't last long enough?
Right.
There's too many things, too many variables.
All right, here's my read on this. Riz has zero interest, nor has he ever had one. Anybody disagree?
No, I agree with that totally.
Plowek, you're washing it down right now.
It's an aggressive gulp,
too. I looked over and I go, oh, my God.
That man's having
he is
that for
pounding a Coca-Cola.
I'm feeling it. Yeah.
I know, and I
but
can't
I'm still
see
here,
the pupils.
and I heard the clip, and
Yeah.
I'm ready for an assessment.
So, Riz has not had a threesome, nor does he have any interest in it. That is my read.
Does not have the personality for that either. I think he's very much so in love with the gal.
KG and O-Town, you're in the Horton Watkins studios. What is your read?
I think that's safe to say. He did talk about getting invited out to the Bunny Ranch.
Yeah, what was the Bunny Ranch part about it? I don't understand that part. Is that what they were talking about? Would you have like a threesome at the Bunny Ranch?
Well, they brought up, they were doing some, is it immoral or not? And one of them was cheating. So the topic of cheating was brought up. I forget the context, but I believe Riz was invited out to the Bunny Ranch with his wife. I don't remember if they went or not.
Riz was... Hold on a second. Who was invited to the Bunny Ranch?
Riz was invited out to the Bunny Ranch, maybe by Dennis, friend of the show, Dennis Hoff.
Yeah, we certainly had that as well. May he rest in peace. But how did his wife get involved?
That I can't speak to. I'm not sure.
But he did say that was included?
I don't want to put words in his mouth.
All right, fair enough. Either way, you can tell that Riz not interested, nor has he. From my standpoint, you can.
Right.
I picked up a very quick read on Moon. And I would tell you, my read is also with Moon, with a variety of factors. I would say, I would move my chips in that Moon has absolutely had threesomes. That is my read on that. Other members of the day, as Iggy.
Being in a band for as long as he
That's
has,
part
and
of it.
being on the road and being all over the world, I would say it's a pretty good chance he's dabbled.
Yeah, at the very least. Jackson.
The evidence presented right there by the two of you has me. I didn't think one way or the other.
I could tell
while
just
listening to
by
the
his
clip.
quick interjection. He only spoke for like a second and a half in there, but I still could pick it up. Plowhawk.
Oh, for sure. Like Iggy said, the band thing,
That's one of the biggest factors. Plus, I could just hear the way he answered it. Now, the learn one, and I think King Scott was like giggling or moaning, but I didn't hear him talk. And Rafe wasn't in yesterday. The learn one speaks to me of curiosity. That's my read on it. And then she's wondering what would be the way to go about it. That's my read on it. In wondering, would the best play be to just have it be, as she said, a rando at the Bunny Ranch, or would it be somebody you know, and then you can, trust because you have an off the field, so to speak, rapport with. That's my read, which would speak to our conversation the one time we were talking in the studio. Me, you, and her just BSing one time in our studio.
She's doing the right thing is you kind of workshop it on air. Then I'm not kidding. We've done it. We've workshopped things on air to where you get that instant feedback from the listeners. I think her question was legit. Would it be better to do it with a friend or with a random stranger you're never going to meet again? I
I'm
actually think that
100%
sounded like a legit
random.
question.
I'm 100%
for sure.
random.
I couldn't do the. Yeah, it would have to be
100%
a random situation.
100% random. And that in my threesome, foursome, orgy experiences, they have been randoms. But some have gone well enough that then they become return friends of the feather.
Right.
But as far as like, hey, we went to St. Gabriel's together and used to beat Our Lady of Sorrows. Would you like to come over and play flip-flop? That isn't anything I'm looking for in my life. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying from my personal preference, that's not. But see, Learn is an emotional person, whereas I'm a sociopath, and so maybe that would be more in her lane, because I'm not saying I'm saying what's better for the individual.
Right. I think the only way it could be a friend is if it's like a friend, like kind of a friend, like someone you knew from college who you like, maybe like hung out with a handful of times, and like that situation, they've moved out of town, they're back in town, maybe, but like someone you're close with and have like a real relationship with, that would be tough because the relationship certainly advances or takes a step back depending on the performance.
Yeah, when it's a friend, you better have your A game.
Right.
I mean, there's no turning back.
Because friends talk.
If you do a 2-minute, kind of wet in the bed type style, oh yeah, just laying there like a dead fish. You have to live with that for yourself, but also there's no more weekend retreats.
Well,
You're not going
before
anywhere.
Iggy go, Iggy's getting up, and I know what's going to happen. Iggy, would you like to tell the people what's going on real quick?
I have to go do a segment on the jock in Springfield.
Stop.
I'll be back.
Oh, you didn't know this?
No.
Well, they put their podcast up so you can grab it.
Wow.
If we can play audio. I don't know what the segment is. He texted me yesterday, and he said, hey, I got a couple questions. How do you feel about me going on the jock in Springfield tomorrow? And I said, God, I couldn't care any less. He goes, well, it's 7:45. I go, okay, do what you got to do, whatever you want to do. I don't give a damn. And then also Jeremy Piven in studio. Do you know about that?
Yes, he told me. I'm so disappointed I won't be here.
Oh, that's right. You'll be getting pounded in Tennessee.
Well, can you ask Ari his thoughts on my trip to Tennessee?
I do love.
I will. Yeah, it's going to be, yeah.
How you live in Jay Piven?
Yeah. Jeremy Piven in studio
That's
on
awesome.
Friday, 8:20. I told Iggy that's an incredible get.
That is incredible.
Yeah, how about that?
My favorite TV character of all time, Ari Gold.
You're not alone in that. So he's not mine, but I know plenty of people who love Ari Gold.
It's a show in Entourage that I don't think, and I think I've seen some of the guys do interviews on this. Maybe it's been Piven himself. I'm sure we'll talk about it when he's in here. Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
the
then God
creator, E, and Drama do a podcast.
that the show couldn't be done in 2023.
I think it could be, it just had to be different.
Well, okay, well then there you go.
But like, the differences would be more slight than you think. Like, they just have to change the Ari and Lloyd relationship, and for the most part, they'd be okay.
I think there'd be more to it. I went, one of my things that puts me in a good mindset before going to bed is to watch Curb Your Enthusiasms, and I kind of am thinking I'm going to go rewatch Entourage.
Good call.
That
There's
might
a
be
couple
my
great
play.
episodes in there. The Day Effers is my favorite episode.
But by the way, I was thinking about talking about this on the show last night, but I already had popped my sleeping pills, so sometimes I forget about the things that I was thinking of while I was on my sleeping. Exactly, I really do. Or just like record into my phone, talk about this on the show,
post those on the fan page.
and like, watch just the eroticism that comes from Anna Marie's eyes as I talk into my phone, hopped up on pills. But we were watching. This would go against the good mindset thing of going to bed in a good mindset. The Boston Marathon bombing documentary on Netflix.
Dude.
Have you watched it?
So we were going to watch it in bed. We got to 10 minutes in. I'm like.
Episode 1?
Episode 1. And I was like, okay, this is not a bedtime.
Right. Shrewd move.
Couldn't do it because it was emotional. It was all hell.
I had forgotten a bunch of parts about it. Episode 2. I haven't gotten episode 3. Maybe episode 3 will be great. I think there's 3 episodes. And this is documented. It's 95% documentary. It isn't like, the Madoff thing where you have people acting. It is episode 2 in particular. It is so good. It is so good. And it's certainly recent history, so nearly all of the parties who were a part of that are involved and able to be interviewed. And, it was 10 years ago. I think the anniversary was this past Sunday, the 10th anniversary of it. But I had forgotten. I mean, there's certain details I would imagine most people, of course, can immediately remember, but then there are plenty that you forget about, and it's so well done, and what was going on throughout that. That's on Netflix. Major recommendation, and in particular, episode 2 got done, and we both looked at each other like, holy crap. So we'll probably watch episode 3 tonight.
The thing with these emotional events with the technology, 9/11 was tragic, and you did have, video recording footage, and you had news footage. But in terms of, like, people having cell phone footage of things like that, that's what kind of shook me. Because we just got back from the game. So wanted to put on something maybe a little bit more pleasant. But I could tell in the first 10 or 15 minutes it's going to be really emotional, really, really good. And whoever did that documentary they really started off pretty much perfect, getting kind of the emotion of what, the marathon means to the city and where it was great.
So major recommendation on that. KG, no time were you about to talk?
Yeah, I started it. It's a heavy watch.
It's still weird. But then I can hear how somebody starts a conversation. Go ahead, KG.
I started it. It's a heavy watch, but it's really good. Oh. It kind of reminded me of back in the day watching United 93. Yeah. Maybe not to that level.
Tough one.
There is watching that in the movie theater, and I think it was 2006, and I recall going to the movie theater. And I remember writing about this on InsideSTL.com back when I used to write nightly, that at the very end, and that's one that you really do have to be ready for. Yeah. Although I don't know if 22 years later, I don't know if the intensity is there. I mean, your experience with September 11th is obviously completely different than mine. You were 3.
I don't remember a second of
Right. So it's a different state of mind for people in their 20s, which is difficult probably for people in their 40s and older to really think about. And then people in their teens weren't even around. But yeah, the final 5 minutes of United 93, I would say, are up there. I don't want to say it's the most intense because I haven't seen everything, and I'm sure somebody could present other movies that would say the intensity here would supersede that. But the intensity, especially when it's so fresh in 2006, and the intensity of it, I've never been more fired up, for lack of a better term, watching a movie. This is in the theater, and then somebody comes in, and they're in the back of the theater, and they're giggling.
Oh,
while that's going on, not because they weren't giggling at it that it happened. They were just not paying attention, and they obviously weren't as emotionally invested as the people who had been watching the previous 90 minutes, and that really tilted me. As you might imagine, considering what it was. I mean, it could be some other movie, and you go whatever, but considering the circumstances, yeah. So major recommendation on that. Hey, Tim, check out J.R. Smith Redefined on Amazon. Great golf show. That's from Kay in Southtown. Hey guys, the Boston Marathon documentary was very good. I'd recommend the Waco documentary next. It was suggested by Netflix. I watched a Waco show, but is this different?
Yeah,
is this a documentary and not like the
it's a different one, and it's pretty damn good. I didn't think I watched all of Timothy McVeigh. I've seen all those, so I thought it'd be just regurgitated.
Right.
It's pretty intense. It's actual people that lived in the compound, some kids who are now obviously adults.
Oh, really? So I got to watch that then, huh?
Pretty intense, yeah.
Guys, I'm PLTDing yesterday's show regarding Cuck Knobloch's erotic story from yesterday.
Already forgot.
Something that you guys didn't cover was that he stated that the two Fs in the least popular had made out numerous times in the past. So even though the best friend dynamic is still present, they had sporting tendencies from the past. Somebody else sent that. They actually emailed me about it.
Wow, it's not that important, guys. Come on.
Real. You're on the off chance people think I'm making it up. I think this is, I don't know. They're lost in the TMA all day emails. But either way, somebody emailed it via the app to me. And so before the show, I actually went back to read Cuck Knobloch's QFTA submission on his erotic story because this person emailed and now this person just texted in saying that the two Fs had hooked up before. This is a story an email that I read yesterday in the 9 o'clock hour on TMA, and here is the exact quote from the email I'm reading. My wife and I have had threesomes before. 3 threesomes to be exact, all with the same girl, a friend of ours from out of town. But we both agreed that our white whale would be her best friend. So Do you follow that there are two different girls here?
Right.
You said-
One is partner and one the girl that they have the threesome with.
No. They've had threesomes before with a friend.
Right.
But the white whale would be this one that they hadn't had a threesome with, which is her best friend.
Her best friend meaning that the girl that they've had the threesomes with previous.
No.
His wife's best friend?
No. So they've had threesomes before. My wife and I have had a threesome before. 3 threesomes to be exact, all with the same girl, a friend of ours, mutual friend.
Right.
So that's that over there.
Okay.
But we both agreed that our white whale, which is something that means you haven't had it yet.
Right.
Like my white whale on my podcast is a Quinn Snyder interview. But we both agreed that our white whale would be her best friend, would be her best friend. In other words, it hasn't happened yet.
Got it.
And then last month, it happened. So they've had threesomes, but they hadn't had a threesome with the white whale.
Right.
Otherwise, it wouldn't be a white whale because they would have already slayed the beast.
No doubt.
So to speak. So I got emails about that, and maybe I didn't read it well, but people were thinking that they had already hooked up, but that is not the case. The split-screen interviews with the police commissioner and the FBI lead is great in that documentary. That comes from Doug's work husband. That is...
And that is the Boston Marathon one?
Yes, that's what he's referencing. And that's a great observation. It's kind of a subtle element of that documentary, but I would agree with it because they disagreed with which the photos of the suspects were distributed. And I'm not spoiling anything here. I mean, this is recent history. This was 10 years ago. But I think one of the core disagreements between the Boston police commissioner and the FBI was whether or not to release the photos of the suspects. And FBI officer Ortiz, one of the lead female interviews in the documentary, says, and once they were released, exactly what we didn't want to happen wound up happening. But I honestly didn't remember that. I just don't remember. I didn't, I mean, of course, people were paying attention at the time, but it's been 10 years, and I didn't remember a bunch of the things that happened. And it's good. It's just intense. It isn't necessarily let's go to bed and watch something light viewing material.
That they touched on that. They have like an episode of that in the newsroom where they talk about like...
Oh, they have the suspects' pictures?
Like the social media is like is running the investigation where like pictures got released and now people are chasing after someone.
But a number of the things were not. They do touch on that in this documentary. That the bunch of I mean, it's the way that social media works. People come up with something and then
And this was the early
then it's
forms
just
of it.
false and it just keeps going. But you're in a chamber and you're like, yeah, that's true, and so this must be true. But that the way that it's portrayed in the documentary is that a news station was going to go and show the photos.
Right.
And had the photos that both the Boston police and the FBI had, but the FBI didn't want to release them. This Boston police commissioner did, and they were disputing that. And then the question from the FBI became, well, how'd they get the pictures? Insinuating, is how I took it, that the Boston police commissioner leaked them in order to get his way. In other words, we're about to release them, and so it forced the FBI's hand.
Yeah.
And then once the photos were released, then the 2 suspects then went off, and that's how it wound up in Watertown, outside of Boston, a suburb of Boston. That's really, really good. Your thoughts are welcome. 314-881-TMA5. Getting a million texts here. And you are welcome to text in. You're welcome to call in as well. Let's see what I have here. Any KG and O-Town text? No. Taylor Twellman is good for today. How about that? Taylor Twellman's going to be a regular on Balloon Party. Yeah. So he will be with us at 10:30. And then we are efforting new Post-Dispatch writer Lynn Worthy as well to talk about the Cardinals. So for those of you who are interested in sports content, from 10 to 11, Balloon Party, Taylor Twellman talking dogs. And potentially Lynn Worthy at 10:15, new Cardinal writer for the Post-Dispatch. That's what we're targeting for 10:15 on 101 ESPN. If you are interested in a perfect gift for Mother's Day, I would like to recommend Sound Story to you. It's mysoundstory.com. That's where you can go. The promo code is up, and it gets you 15% off just by entering TMA. You will start to hear some commercials here on Hubbard radio stations over the next few weeks leading into Mother's Day. Joe Buck voiced those spots just Sunday. And one of the things you will hear him talk about is how people usually at eulogies wind up getting a chance to say things that they wish they would have said when the people were around. And that was one of the things that me and my brothers and sister did for our parents. I realize you might go, well, that's kind of morbid. Well, it is, but it's also realistic. And if you want to make sure people know how you feel about them and your appreciation for them, it is an ideal Mother's Day or Father's Day gift. So me and my brothers and sister came in, and we've done this with a few people since then. And whether it be me handling the interview, Jackson handling the interview, Doug handling the interview, John Hewlett, Randy Carricker, Learn, Riz, Moon, Courtney Landrum. Just go to mysoundstory.com, or you can give a gift certificate to your mom for Sound Story at mysoundstory.com. The promo code works the same no matter what format you're going to do for the gift card. Just get the gift card, and then afterwards schedule it. The promo code is TMA. It gets you 15% off, and it is the perfect Mother's Day gift at mysoundstory.com. Ryan Kelly is the title sponsor of this program and has been for the last decade. Online at thehomeloanexpert.com. It's Ryan Kelly, and he is online at thehomeloanexpert.com. Credit card rates are higher than they have been in more than 30 years, which is hard to wrap my mind around. But one of the unique elements of this current situation is that home values are not declining. So what you can do is take advantage of the equity in your home and then put that equity in your home to work for you with a simple cash-out refi. So many people ask, why do so many top builders and real estate agents choose the Home Loan Expert as their preferred lender? 3 reasons: lower rates, 10-day closing guarantee, and the Home Loan Expert gets complicated deals done. It's Ryan Kelly, online at thehomeloanexpert.com. I am a client. I have sent family members to Ryan Kelly as well. And, of course, TMA listeners for the past decade have been supporting Ryan Kelly, and there's a reason for it. He's the best. TheHomeLoanExpert.com, title sponsor of this program, and a longtime friend of the show, Ryan Kelly, online at TheHomeLoanExpert.com. If you would like to be the Milagro Tequila Listener of the Month, just go to TMASTL.com. Beer Cats, January. Natty Nate, February. And then, of course, Brian Henshin, March. We're heading down the stretch here. Jackson, if you had to think, like right now I'm kind of talking Arbor Day. I kind of like this Arbor Day. I don't know if Arbor Day is in Missouri. It could be our first Missourian ever.
Arbor Day is making a push. You have to think JV golf coach with having 4 email wins this month, sitting at the top of the table in terms of email to day standings, or email to month standings, I should say. Has to be considered. Buck Swope is always going to be in the conversation. But yeah, Arbor Day is making a real push. But there's openings for people, you know, maybe a really good performance in the first round of the Fan Page Club Championship could push someone ahead. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know. Like an ace, if someone aces a hole, you know, you have to throw that into the consideration.
It reminds me, call beginning at 11 o'clock today. If you are a Fan Page Club Championship participant, call Sean Barnes and the Pro Shop over at Gateway National and pay. That is important, obviously. If you don't pay, you won't be playing. So, you know, it's like a fantasy baseball league. If you don't pay, well, you're out of the league. So make sure that you pay today. It is the Fan Page Club Championship. You just call Gateway National's Pro Shop, and someone in the Pro Shop will take your money for greens fees, your entry fee, and take it so you can participate in the fun and games presented by Michelob Ultra that is taking place on April 30th at Gateway National. Guys, what about the listener who hacked the St. Louis Magazine A-list voting to get Pepper and Genie in the finals? That's from the Trill side. I believe that's Totem. I could certainly see me voting for Totem.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I never.
But the results aren't coming out until June, right?
Right, correct.
In a stunning development.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, Licks has got to be up there this month, right?
Licks?
Yeah.
What has he done?
What do you mean, what's he done? Hasn't he called in twice?
And that gets him. I guess it got Natty Nate. It kind of got Natty Nate.
Yeah, 98 we gave him for one. I mean,
he got a scalding Cardinal.
Right, but that was like a call to end.
And now that I think back on it, it was in February, which means they weren't even playing yet, and he was pissed off.
That's what makes it.
But he saw it coming. He saw this coming.
This is why you should be the manager. Cut Knobloch, it's Swiss cheese story. You know, too many holes. we don't really know what's real and what isn't. So, and if we let one of those stories win it automatically, you're going to get a ton of fake. Oh, look, Bill's wife had a threesome. It's like, is she real?
Bill's wife, by the way, says, can I get listener of the month if I call in to prove that I'm a girl? Jackson has already responded. Or was that you? Or was that Cajun O-Town?
That's me.
Cajun O-Town taking liberties. You very well could. The issue with, like, you can call in and say you're Bill's wife, and we have no way to...
Right. You could just get your
no way to validate it.
But I truly believe.
I know you
got
do.
me. You got me sold.
Bill's wife says, sup, KG.
He just left the door open.
Just say, yeah, I was about to. I can tell the door's open.
A draft.
What happened?
I don't know. He came back in.
Who,
set
Iggy?
Down, yeah, set down his vittles, and now he's back out doing God knows what.
Larry Nickel is with us for the WW recap. Good morning, Larry.
Oh, give me a minute. There we go. What up, Larry?
How you guys doing?
Wonderful. Tell me what happened on the program last night.
Well, last night, there were two factions, the Bloodline and the Judgment Day, and they struck up a deal. The deal was, if Solo Sikoa took care of Rey Mysterio, which he did, the Judgment Day needs to take care of the problem, which is Matt Riddle and the new undisputed tag team champions, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
I like that. Larry, I saw Becky Lynch trending on Twitter yesterday.
Man.
Yeah, the man. Sorry, Becky. Is it Becky the Man Lynch or the man Becky Lynch? Either way, I saw her trending.
Becky Lynch.
Thank you, Larry. I saw her trending on Twitter. What up with that?
Here's what happened. Last week, it was supposed to be Lita and Becky Lynch defending the women's tag team titles.
Mm-hmm.
But Lita got injured earlier in the day. This is last week, by the way.
Gotcha.
So Trish Stratus took Lita's place as champion. Then Liv Morgan pinned Trish Stratus to win. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez won the tag titles from Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus. And then Becky Lynch tried to console Trish Stratus after the loss. Then, of course, when Becky Lynch turned her back, what happens? Trish Stratus backstabs her.
No.
What do you do to her?
She beat her up when she had her back turned.
Stunning development. Larry, do you have the top 5 countries in the world?
Yes, I do. Number 5 is Colombia.
Wow.
Number 4 is Brazil. Number 3 is Australia.
Big week for the Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah,
Fun to see.
Crazy.
Yeah. 2 Canada.
There it is.
Although I think Colombia is Northern Hemisphere.
I think it's right there on the equator.
I like that 5, 4, and 3 combo there, Larry.
Yeah, big for probably the biggest week ever for the Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah. No, Colombia is in the Southern Hemisphere. Oh, boy.
I've been off the coast of Colombia when I was in Aruba.
Parts of it are in
Northern
Hemisphere. Parts of it are in the Southern.
Larry, do you consider Colombia to be in the Northern or Southern Hemisphere?
Both.
Nice. It's a great answer. And you know what it is? It's the right answer. Larry, God bless you and God bless these United States of America.
Yeah, God bless America.
There he is, Larry Nickel with us here on the WWE recap. Iggy, we will talk about your appearance. Were you with Ned Reynolds? Were you on with Ned?
Yeah, Ned and Scott.
Is there any way we can get audio then?
Wow.
I know they put their podcast up on Facebook. I don't know if they do it right away. Probably wait till the afternoon.
They only put it up on Facebook.
Well, I'm sure they got a website too, but they always post it on Facebook, on their Facebook page.
Oh, like they have a fan page?
Yeah, I saw it come up. Scott, I see their guest. Scott and Ned talked to the former head coach of the Glendale field hockey team.
Johnny Johnson.
Yeah, their guests are awful.
Damn.
You were just on the show.
Yeah.
Well, that's what proves my point.
They're about to pull this on you.
Yeah, I'm their St. Louis go-to guy to talk about Blues and
Did you talk about
Cardinals.
the Blues?
They wanted to talk
Cardinals?
about the Blues in Springfield?
Yeah, what happened to the Blues?
How'd you respond?
I don't know. I said, guys got old, and, their plus minuses were bad, and they lost Perron, and, yeah, you have those years. I have no clue.
I guess I'm available.
Maybe we ought to
too,
play
if
that on Balloon Party.
I could barely talk. I could barely
Ken
talk
Strode
about the
was
Cardinals.
on 98.7.
Yeah, they were talking about
in
the Cardinals.
Springfield this morning. Here's his thoughts on what happened to the Blues this year with this plant.
Yeah, I didn't have the guts to tell him I haven't seen a game in 5 years, except for one I went to last couple weeks ago.
Light the text line on fire.
Yeah. How about those Cardinals? I haven't seen them in 5 years either.
That closes out the Munganess St. Louis Acura Alton Toyota 7 o'clock hour. Munganess online at stlouisacura.com and altontoyota.com. You are welcome to go online at stlouisacura.com or altontoyota.com and go shopping for new or pre-owned vehicles. And you can use the secret phone number of 314-252-0029 to call or text Jamie Burkhardt or Clayton Patterson, Peter Munganess, and ask any questions you may have, any requests you may have. It's Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota. Go online at stlouisacura.com or altontoyota.com, the official automotive provider of TMA, the presenting sponsor of Balloon Party, and one of the sponsors of the Totem. Remember, 6 foursomes, I have been told, are available for Thursday. Friday, sold out. 6 refunded, 6 available. Jackson, do you believe refunding is the proper policy?
Probably next year. We probably.
Well, next year I can already tell you it won't be.
But
happening.
this year, yeah, because if you
I think
say,
so.
Because if you don't say anything,
you can't not do it.
It's just
you can't not do it.
Better to do so than if you
It was a loophole. The players found the loophole. They took advantage of the loophole. And if I would have been in the player's spot, I would have utilized the loophole too.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm generally pro refund. Especially when you don't say it, but like next year, obviously, we'll change it around. But yeah, if you don't say anything, I'm pro refund.
Right. Yeah. If there was no refund policy, you can't then backdoor that.
No doubt.
So anyway, TMASTL.com to get one of the 6 remaining foursomes for Thursday's Totem that have been refunded. TMASTL.com. Family Golf, also a sponsor of the Totem. It's presented to you by Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbohydrates. Michelob Ultra, studio sponsor here on TMA, sponsor of the Totem and the J. Randolph Jr. Fan Page Club Championship. Don't forget to call Gateway National today to pay if you are participating in the Fan Page Club Championship. If you do not pay, you will not play. And all you need to do is just call the Pro Shop and give them your credit card information, and you will be taken care of. Start doing that at 11 a.m. today. We'll take a commercial break, come back with the Appliance Discounters 8 o'clock hour. This is the Ryan Kelly Morning After from the Michelob Ultra Studios.
For more than 7 years, the Totem Tournament has been a rite of spring. The azaleas and dogwoods waking the golfing world from its winter slumber.
So, the Totem's back May 18th and 19th at Normandy Golf Club. Brought to you by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Get your foursome together. That's still funny. And join Tim, Iggy, Doug, Jackson, and Plowsy for a day out on the course. Hey, so Friday's sold out now. Few teams remain for Thursday. Get them while you can, with a portion of the proceeds benefiting Birdies for Bipolar. Your ticket gets you in on all the debauchery, including your Mick Ultra beer, breakfast from Donut Drive-In, lunch from Rockstar Tacos, and a kick-ass after party with smash burgers from Rockstar Tacos. The return of the 7th annual TMA Totem Golf Tournament, brought to you by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota. Better than ever for you, their customer, and Family Golf and Learning Center. Learn, practice, and play your best golf. Visit FamilyGolfOnline.com. Get all the Totem info now at TMASTL.com. Thank you. Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPN-TFM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day.
Here's Action Jackson with 3 more ways to get TMA content.
Check out listener rewards on the new TMA mobile app. Watch the show live on the TMA studio cams. Find it at TMASTL.com. Get the podcast on the TMA app. Download it now.
Thanks, Jackson. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on 105.7 FM HD2.
Okay. Hot takes.
Yeah.
Pepper and Genie. Pepper and Genie.
And now the Pepper and Genie Show with Darren Atkins and Ken Strode. All right, take it, fellas.
There it is. That's the open.
Pepper and Genie.
Pepper and Genie. Pepper and Genie. Pepper and Genie. Pepper and Genie. Pepper and Genie. Pepper and Genie. Pepper and Genie.
We don't know what it is. We don't understand the name. We just know it's stupid. And it's available every weekday, featuring Iggy and the Plowboy. Apparently it's some kind of a podcast or something. Available at TMASTL.com and on the TMASTL mobile app. Whatever.
Engineer Design Facilities is moving forward as the EDF Group, the most experienced data center and critical facilities service provider in the St. Louis market. Check out the newly revamped website, theedfgroup.com, and take a look at each of the 3 divisions they have to offer. EDF Group is your one throat to choke for all your critical facilities, data center, commercial fire alarm, and electrical and IT infrastructure needs. To contact the EDF Group, email fire@theedfgroup.com. Experience the EDF Group difference and learn more at theedfgroup.com.
TMA knows how much our Walrus audience loves their meats. That's why we have teamed up with a local company that delivers high-quality, great-tasting meats straight to your door. Brush Creek Valley Farms is a direct-to-consumer family farm that raises, processes, and delivers beef and pork nationwide at a cost-friendly price. Go to brushcreekvalley.com to choose between building your own box or browsing their various curated box options such as the TMA box, which contains 5 pounds of ground beef, 2 ham steaks, 2 sirloins, 8 bratwurst, and 2 pork chops. And don't forget to apply TMA 10 at checkout for 10% off all orders. That's TMA 10 for 10% off. Brush Creek Valley Farms meats are delivered straight from Cuba, Missouri, and never contain any added hormones or antibiotics to ensure their customers receive the highest quality cuts of beef and pork. So this grilling season, make sure you're choosing the best beef and pork from BrushCreekValley.com. Brush Creek Valley Farms, high-quality meats for a lowbrow audience.
I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. The average credit card interest rate is over 24%, the highest number in over 30 years. And with inflation skyrocketing, people are taking on more debt just to get by. But if you're a homeowner, you shouldn't have to live like this. It's time to put your equity to work for you with a simple cash-out refinance. Our average client received over $54,000 cash back at closing. It all starts now at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Hey, St. Louis, Eddie McVeigh here from Maggie O'Brien's. When you head downtown for a concert or cards or blues game, and now for the St. Louis City soccer game, please come see us at Maggie O'Brien's before and after your event. Take our shuttle to and from or stay in-house and watch your favorite team on our multiple high-def TVs. We look forward to seeing you soon at one of our 2 locations in Sunset Hills on South Lindbergh or downtown at the corner of Market and 20th Street. Union Station is next to us.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan of TMA, and I am thrilled to have new clients on board Longo Biggs Injury Law. CD Longo and Doug Biggs. And Doug, the thing I want our audience to know is that you guys are local and you guys are different. Tell our audience how you're different.
Yeah, Tim, both CD and I are from St. Louis area, born and raised in the South City area or the South County area, and we are also thrilled to be part of the TMA family now. If anyone signs up with us for an injury case, their case is treated like they are family. We get to know you, we get to know the ins and outs of your case, and make sure we represent you like you are part of our family. We're not like one of the large firms in the area who might take your case and just treat you like another number or another file. You'll get our personal attention. It's either CD and I who will handle your case directly. And if you are injured in an accident, please remember us. You can visit us at longobiggs.com, and that's Biggs with 2 G's.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
The Tim McKernan Show podcast, featuring long-form interviews with people from the world of sports, politics, and entertainment.
And our guest today, Bill McClellan. Thanks so much for coming in.
Hey, my pleasure, Tim.
What's up, Caden?
Hi, how are you?
Joe Buck, our guest today.
Man, it's like I haven't seen you in years.
More than 500 episodes and counting, and it's available wherever you get your podcasts, including the TMA STL app. Get the app now at tmastl.com.
I'm gay. Now.
The Ryan Kelly Morning After.
KPN-TFM HD2.
Collinsville, St. Louis.
Well, after a tough loss to the Diamondbacks last night, we wanted to lift St. Louis in spirits.
It's a banger.
It is a banger. See, Appliance Discounters, 8 o'clock hours. We broadcast from the Michelob Ultra Studios here on the Ryan Kelly Morning After. The kids call it TMA. Tim McKernan, Plowhawks on the 1s and 2s. On the left of me, Ken Iggy Strode. On the right of me, Action Jackson Burkett filling in for the vacationing Douglas Elvin Vaughn. And behind the wall on my left is a bathroom, and on the other side of that wall is KGNO Town. It's called the Horton Watkins Studios. Brought to my attention via the EDF text inbox that there is video of Learn talking about Iggy and his smoke breaks on the TMA fan page, and we pulled that, correct?
We do have the audio, correct.
Oh, wow. It's the top thread on the
oh boy,
on the TMA fan page here.
Iggy,
Shots fired from Learn towards Iggy on the Riz Show.
Damn, sorry I missed it.
Well, good thing we have the audio.
Yeah, you ready to play it, boys?
Yeah, let's take a listen.
Let's hear it.
I'm not a smoker, so I don't go out like Kenny Strode, Iggy over at HD2. He goes out and gets to have like 10 minutes 14 times a day where he gets to leave his show and smoke and do whatever he does. Why can't I have that much time to like do whatever I want? Take up smoking. I know.
Nice.
Iggy, your response. Iggy over on HD2.
Yeah, that I thought was key.
Well,
why was that key?
Well, we're just called HD2 now. That's who we are.
She's getting better because
accurate.
normally when she talks about it, she says, he's on the McKernan show, which is right. No, I don't. Did you say 14 times a day? That's a little much.
Did she say 14 times a day? I thought she said 15 minutes. Oh, she did really?
14 times.
Oh, wow.
Well,
wow.
not during this show, but over the course of a day, no.
What does it matter if I do something outside of here?
I'm just saying.
Is she going to be mad because I'm at home smoking?
I don't think she's mad at all.
No, she's not mad. But, she doesn't need to take up smoking. She can, when they're on break, she can go out and do what she wants. I mean, I never see him leave the studio, which I find fascinating that...
Never see what? Who leave? Like the Briz guys?
I mean, I see King Scott. Every once in a while I see Moon. But I don't think Riz leaves the studio.
I will say that. I don't see Riz until when I see him walk, because he has to walk past the 101 studios right next to their office. And that's when I see him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah. I wonder what the hell he does from a restroom facility standpoint.
I don't know. He's got a cup under there.
Steel bladder.
And as many times as Learn filled in before she got the starting gig, I never saw her. She'd be in there and doing the Riz show tomorrow. I'd never see her.
Well, we're only, you have to coordinate the breaks almost.
Yeah, that's true, because we take breaks, whenever.
Right. Although they kind of take breaks whenever, too.
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you've been on that show, too. When I've been on that show, they were in the middle, doing an hour straight.
But it's always the first hour.
Oh, they don't do that the rest of the way?
I don't think so. The first hour.
Obviously, we wouldn't know since we're doing the program.
Their 6 o'clock hour, they just go as long as they want. And sometimes, their show doesn't even end until 10 after 10. They kind of go whenever they want. But I think they have to take breaks. They have to take breaks in between because they do have commercials.
Can you imagine if they did a balloon party?
We should bet them. We should do some sort of bet, and then for a week they do balloon party from 10 to 11.
They want to do.
That's the penance.
Yeah.
They want to do something with us. I was talking to King Scott and Moon, and they said we got to do something with the TMA. Like we do this football picks against 101. We need to do something with TMA. I said, well, talk to Tim and Jackson, get something done. Well, I can't say let's do this.
Well, the sales staff was talking about including us on something with the Riz show. I think that was that's our sales meeting 2 weeks ago. I guess we have a sales meeting today. We'll probably talk about it again, as a matter of fact. Let's see.
So no, I wasn't mad at Learn. She was just having fun. She's not mad that I go and smoke, I'm sure.
Guys, was Learn underwater? Thanks. That's from Tervis Parish.
Yeah, it was a little.
Well, it was probably recorded off of somebody's phone or television.
Yeah, it was.
So that's it wasn't the straight YouTube.
I heard a beep boop.
That was a Discord. That sounded like a Discord thing.
That's actually what Kevin's brother Jack Demoff said.
Oh, really?
Said nice little Discord notification noise in the background. Tim, while you're on the fan page, do you care to comment on the thread asking with, quote, concern about Iggy's state of mind?
Oh, I read that one, too.
What do we got? No, I just went to there and I saw at the top of the page, shots fired from Learn towards Iggy on the Riz show. Doesn't say anything about a state of mind.
People that love Iggy were worried about...
Repeat and repeat.
Iggy.
Oh, I see.
Because of all the shots being fired at Iggy. It is from
Well, it's been
10
going on for a
hours
long
ago.
time. It doesn't bother me.
Shots fired at Iggy out of nowhere on the point by Learn.
Well,
is that the thread?
Wasn't really shots.
This one is about Kim Gardner. By the way, how about this? A murder trial was set to start today for a killing on the Arch grounds, but no one from Kim Gardner's office showed up. Just phenomenal. That's from Alexis Zotos, too. That isn't just like a fan page person.
Yeah, I read that this morning. Just prosecutors didn't show up.
Didn't show up.
Guess she had something to do.
Phenomenal. Just phenomenal.
And I think somebody resigned from there recently, too, over the...
Oh, yeah, I saw that. The resignation letter. Very detailed. Time to listen to the Jock. They do have a text number, FYI. I don't know what the thread is. Who started the thread? Don't give the real name, I'm sorry. I've said for years that Iggy is my favorite part of the show. The cat said it perfectly. Iggy is instant offense. But 2023 Iggs is really bumming me out. Is this like a dark post, or is this... Should I not read this?
I think it might get dark. I don't know. I don't think I've read this one.
It's not super dark, but I don't know. There might be no point.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, yeah, they take a bunch of shots at me and Iggy, too, in the comments. It's nice.
That's kind of...
You seem
Why is Iggy
unperturbed
so
by it.
pissed? Oh, wait, here, let's bash him continuously on this post about acting and why Iggy is so pissed. It's like, dude, you're answering your own damn question, man. You sometimes beat us up to submission, and sometimes we just have to go off.
And you're posting in a place that I'm not even part of anymore, so I can't read it.
I was thinking about this. I mean, I don't know how to do it, but well, one of the plans for Hubbard was there'll be a point. I'll circle back here. Trust me, we're just going to go 270, 255, and bypass downtown. That I guess if you are a Riz listener of the month, is that what they do, or listener of the day, whatever
The Riz team member of the day.
That's what it is. Okay, that there's like a. I don't know if it's a Facebook page or something like that, and that was going to be the plan for the Milagro Tequila Listener of the Month, where it would be like part of winning would you be able to where all of the members of the show would actually participate, because as of right now, the members of the show, with the exception of sporadic here and there, Plowhawk when you're on a trail or with your dogs, Doug when he's in the Mediterranean, Jackson is Dennis Gates,
GIF, the little
Iggy's
picture.
not on the page. Even KG and O-Town has kind of gotten a little brush back here, even though he's still not officially part of the show. And I just don't get a chance to post as much as I'd like. That we aren't all that active on it, but there could be a page where it is a little more, I don't know what the right word would be. I don't know, where we would want to be active. Because I would love to interact with people. I'm not going to do it on Twitter because it's going to be, it's zero upside. And I love interacting with the audience, but you just run into some spots where you know it's negative. And from we talked about this when we talked about this on Balloon Parades. I can picture being in the 101 studio. What was the topic? Oh, the thing that the audience, of course, thought you were trying to force feed NBA talk on them, but it was about Giannis. But what happened with Giannis? Something happened with Giannis.
He almost walked away from the game after signing the biggest contract in NBA history due to mental health.
And what I was saying on that was, you've heard over the last, and tell me if I'm wrong, Iggy, we both have been doing this for a while, that I feel like over the last 5 years, you've heard more about athletes and mental health than ever before.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I think one of the reasons for that is a destigmatization of it, but the other reason is I believe it's a byproduct of social media. And the human brain is not necessarily programmed to handle a bunch of people coming at you from a bunch of different directions, either attacking you or making things up about you. And even if you're, you know, God only knows how much money that guy has, hundreds of millions of dollars, he's won an MVP, and they've had team success as well in his tenure. It just shows how toxic it can be. And you had, I asked you when we were on the air, what was the name of the tennis star who walked away?
Naomi Osaka.
Right.
Simone Biles talked about it.
Right. You had the closer for the Rockies. I realize that's not necessarily as big of a name as Giannis or Osaka or Biles, but just at the beginning of the year said, I got a mental health situation. I got to step away. I personally, I don't know this. I know people are wondering what the hell happened with Rory McIlroy, just WDing from the RBC Heritage this past week after what was a really surprisingly bad Masters. I think if he goes and plays Augusta right now from the exact same tees, he probably shoots 67-67. But because of the mind and how big of a part of golf that is. So I think social media has played a role in it. And I also think, I don't think a lot of people realize when they're posting something that is, I guess for lack of a better term, negative. I don't think they necessarily, not everybody, certainly some people do because they use their 21st century version of the white hood, which is the anonymous account, you know, the bitch-ass move. If you're so passionate about your principles, then why were you riding around on a horse with a white hood?
Yeah.
But nonetheless, now you have the dog avatar, and that of course being malicious. But I think sometimes people say things and they don't necessarily realize that it's negative, and I think that's probably a lot of the fan page stuff. And you know, but with regards to what this person is saying, I don't know if it's saying he's concerned about Iggy or what. There was an email. I thought I said this on TMA, but maybe I said it on QFTA. Doing so many damn shows, I don't know where I say things. But I certainly would have talked about it on Balloon Party. There'd be no reason why we're talking about it. There was an email about a month or two ago. We were in the old studio, so it had to be, more than 2 weeks ago. And I got done reading it, and I go, God, that one was a little, we're off the air. I go, that one was a little rough. And then Iggy goes, I don't care. It was funny. So Iggy, we're all kind of in on the joke.
Right.
And Iggy withdrawing from the fan page isn't because of the show content.
No.
It's the fan page.
It's...
And we have a relationship. I don't really like to go behind the curtain because I don't think audience members necessarily like if we go behind the curtain. But just so you know, the show doesn't really do anything without everybody on the show getting together and talking about it.
Right.
So I don't know if that would be surprising to people on the outside looking in, but just so you know, that's how we, under the darkness of night, went from KFNS over here, and how many people knew about that when it happened? It's amazing. But yet it had been in the works for 9 months.
Yeah. So this post is they're concerned about me because of all the trash talk toward me and the shots at me.
Right. To an extent, yeah.
And
obviously,
maybe
you read it since you're not on the page.
Yeah,
maybe I'm getting a little banty.
2023 is really bumming me out. He left the fan pin. He took a kind of cryptic week off that concerned even his co-hosts. Well, it did, and that's why I called him. Jackson and I talked that day when you texted me and Tommy that you were going to take that week off. And I knew you were sick.
Yeah, I just
But I at the time, I was just like, that's weird. I hope you're okay. And part of me was thinking...
Fine.
And I called you.
Yeah, you did.
But it was a Sunday. But the reason why I wasn't necessarily thinking from a mental health standpoint, I knew when I had my cancer scare in 2012, it would have been a really weird spot. I just so happened to have a vacation planned. We were supposed to go to Sanibel that week when it all happened, which was so convenient. Now, it sucked because we didn't go on the vacation. But, I'd just been told I had lymphoma. So it was, quote, great because Doug, the cat, I don't know who else, producer Joe, and whoever was running the board at the time, just thought I was in Sanibel. When in reality, I'm going to get tests and dealing with what I thought was beginning chemotherapy. And so I was worried, as I told Jackson, because I got on the phone with Jackson before calling you, that you had a serious health issue, but you didn't want to talk about it because you didn't know what the situation was. And that is why I got on the phone with you, but I talked about it on the air. Just to give the context, because if you're going to assign opinions to me or people on the show, I think it's only fair if we have an opportunity to set the record straight.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, all I did was I don't want to leave you guys hanging day to day, because I hadn't really been sick since 2019, and that was like 5 days.
But the AVN?
No, it was after the AVNs. It's like the flu in 2019. Where for like Monday through, I think I went to work Monday. It was Tuesday that I'd said, I can't come in. I haven't slept all night. So I had the rest of the week off, and then I ended up going to my niece's reception that Saturday, and then Sunday I went to get together with my sister and actually had pizza. That's the first time I'd eaten in like 5 days. Then I was back to work Monday. But I said, I don't want to leave you guys hanging, if over the weekend I want to call you like Sunday night, I'm still feeling a little down, I'm not going to come in today. I'm feeling a little better, but I'm going to take another day.
I
said,
that,
I'll take my week off, and I don't have to let you guys hang every day.
But then I hate that I don't know how much vacation, it's not my business, but I don't want you to have to, quote, waste a vacation. If you call in the day off,
I don't go anywhere anyway.
We'll be fine.
We got you, dude.
But it's fair to be easier to do that.
Right. But my concern was for physical health.
Right.
At the time, because I'm just like, but then I was like, okay, I wonder if something's bothering him, so that's why we got on the phone. Now, I didn't go on the radio, or post a podcast saying, just so everybody knows, I got on the phone with Iggy, let me tweet this out here. But that...
No, I think you know me well enough that if that stuff bothered me, that people, I would say, stop reading those texts.
100%. The cat had a policy on one particular topic. I had a policy, well, it was a policy. That was up. I don't know what noise that was.
What in the hell?
That was my water.
Are you using a straw?
No, I had a
belching straw.
That sounded like a goose.
No, I had
gasping for
it wasn't
air.
coming. It wasn't coming out through the. There was a piece of
blowhole.
It's part of.
There was a piece of ice stuck there, and I had to suck it out.
The cat never wanted one thing talked about, so we just respected it, and that was the way that it was. Doug one time went after the cat on one thing. I don't think anybody on the current dais here was around for that. Jackson might not have been alive. And it was one of the probably the most surprising moment in the show's history. And it all happened off air. And I was like, oh my God, I've never seen Doug angry like that. And I haven't seen Doug angry like that since, by the way. And then when I got divorced, 15 years ago, it's part of the divorce agreement that I don't talk about the divorce as in like the divorce, intricacies of it which is totally reasonable, from my ex-wife's perspective, and I totally respect that. But other than that, anything that would
and Doug didn't want the Photoshop that kept going on the fan
that's
page.
right.
She said, "Can you stop?"
Because that became an issue for Camo V.
Yeah. So if it was something that was bothering us, we'd say something.
But then we tend to it off the air, So that's just. We got together when we were debating whether or not to stay at KFNS or go to Hubbard in a room where I play golf, and essentially basically had a vote. And what I said at the beginning of it, and Plowhawk, you weren't a part of it at the moment, but this was November or December of 2021. And I said, here's the deal: unless we're not leaving until all four of us are on. Like it was like a jury. We're not doing this. Is 3-1. We go all four of us, or we don't go. That's just the way that it's got to be. And when I had an opportunity at KMOX in whatever that was, March of 21, I guess at this point 2 years ago, I get it. They weren't looking to put TMA on to replace Rush Limbaugh. Certainly makes sense. But I wanted to do TMA, and that's not what they were looking for. And I get it. And I just told people, and I will continue to tell people, the success of this show, you can say it's about one person all you want, whoever you want to attribute it to, be my guest. I just tell you you're wrong, and it doesn't matter which person you attribute it to. Right. I can promise you, because I've been sitting here for 20 years, and so I know the show's success is about the group. And so when these other stations would find out about the advertising revenue attached to this little AM radio show, I'd go, it's not mine, it's the group's. And so if you want those dollars, that's cool. They'll come. Right. And then you'll probably increase on them because you'll have a sales staff. But just so you know, it's not me. It's the group. And therefore, the group is going to take care of each other. Now, to me, that kind of strikes me as obvious. But just so the audience knows, that's the way that it works. And if there were ever a real issue, candidly, it just wouldn't be tended to on the air. So that's just the way that it is. And the thing, I guess, that when Wellington asked you last week about KG and O-Town, that was something. Well, I love Wellington. I really love Wellington. That would have been something that if I felt like you didn't want KG and O-Town, that is not something that I would have asked on the air. But in my spot, Wellington sitting where Jackson is, you're over here on my left. If I go, well, let's not talk about it, imagine how that plays. So you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So sometimes these are the things that, when I think I hear somebody say something that I might go, that could get that person in trouble. The way I handle it, just so you know, is an on the fly, I'm going to blow past it and probably either go into a live read or read a text, because if I call attention to it, then it makes it a bigger deal, and then it could wind up getting that person fired. Just so you know, that's kind of, because I used to do a show with Frank Cusumano way back when, 2003, and I would say, obviously, weird stuff that Frank wasn't used to hearing, and he'd go, okay. Arnold, save us. And so it would call attention to the fact that I certainly was not relatable to Frank's audience, as is the case. Just like Frank's audience wouldn't necessarily be the people I'd hang out with. Doesn't mean I'm wrong or Frank was saying I'm wrong. It just called attention to it. And so when I started working with Martin and the Cat, they're just like, okay, this guy is effing strange, but whatever. And so it just flowed in. Right. And I remember my mom saying, I'm more comfortable with you working with those guys, even though I feel like you say stranger stuff now, because they don't really call attention to the strange stuff that you say. I go, now that you make that observation, I think you're right about it.
It works.
All right, let me read, because a bunch of people are texting in on this. Michael Frank's love is texting in, and he says the post was people, I've lost the text. Oh, here it is. People should... the post was concern for Iggy and the Fats blaming Tim for reading the texts. That's from Michael Franks.
I saw that.
It was just the Fats?
Well, I don't know about that, but I did see the message. What's a guy reading them? It's like, no, because like Iggy doesn't get like upset about that. Like if it Like you said
Like I
previously,
said, I've said this before. I can't remember, because again, we do shows in 3 different places. But I said it's kind of the cost of doing business. And I don't remember what the topic was. This was about a month ago on QFTA. The cost of doing business. The criticism of doing this stuff comes with the territory.
Right.
Now, if you don't do this for a living, then you would think criticism would be a bigger deal because you're not used to getting criticized in a public forum. But when you do this stuff for a living, in a weird way, as strange as it might sound, you want to be criticized. You want people to hate you. As weird as that sounds, I know that sounds, from a psychological standpoint, unhealthy, and I would tell you it probably is, which is why some of the more well-known on-air talents have some crap going on. But I think it's not necessarily a byproduct. I think it's what happens because you're getting hated on. But you also have people like you. If you're just like, oh, yeah, I like him, he's a good guy, and you're hosting a bunch of banquets, probably not making a lot of money. Right. As weird as it sounds. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but I'm just telling you it's the nature of the beast. So people said blaming me for Iggy. I don't know if I didn't see that. That's not what I see in this post. He's talking about KG and O-Town's TikToks. I don't see
Yeah, but
that
this
part.
is just...
Oh, it's in the comments?
There's just certain...
99% of the crap he gets is from the text line. 99% of the text read are by one person. That was passive aggressive. There's
what a shock.
There's a solution to this problem if indeed someone thinks it's a problem. Well, we don't think it's a problem.
No,
you guys are theorizing it's a problem.
No.
Whatever. I don't know. It's fine. It comes with the territory.
Right.
And however long I'm doing this, I will have people hate me, and it's part of the deal. And
I just said, if it bothered me, I would tell Tim, I'm getting tired of reading that or hearing that. Can you please stop? It
Just
doesn't.
like the cat did with his thing 20 years ago, and we said, okay, we'll never talk about it.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. It's... You can like me, you can dislike me. It doesn't matter. It's just, I'm not one of those guys that, God, I wish everybody would love me. I'm not sure there's a lot of people who like me. There's a few people that can't stand me.
That's the
But
nature
that's
of
fine.
the beast.
That's
That's
fine.
right.
And
That's
these
what I mean
don't
by the
bother
cost of
me.
doing
So
business. It's
my mental health is fine. It really is. I'm lucky in that aspect that there's not much that bothers me.
Please don't turn this into an Iggy hater. I don't know what he's saying. I feel like he's more and more just not willing to put up with the reindeer games, and the show definitely feels different. Oh, this is one of those show feels different things. I had lunch with a client, her potential client yesterday, and I go, I don't know how many times I have read that the show is ending or that the show is over because X, Y, or Z person left. But then if I present data that would immediately end any of those conversations, as in downloads or revenue, I'd be, thin-skinned. But I mean,
you can't.
So that's why I'm saying. I think I said this on the show. I'm kind of like, it's fine. That's why I'm happy to answer questions more so on the podcast or via email, because I think the one-on-one communication over email, for whatever reason, is more effective. But I don't want to say I've given up. It's clear when I talk about some of the things that I know are true, and then the guys on the show know are true, for whatever reason, they don't necessarily resonate, which is why we call them TMA conspiracy theories. And I actually got one yesterday.
There we
finally,
go.
After asking for one for 2 weeks.
There we go.
I finally got one. And of course it was, you're leaving the show. But hey, at least the person had the nerve to email it.
You're leaving the show?
Yeah, that's what the conspiracy theory is.
Usually people will know when one of us is about to leave the show.
I don't know. Sometimes it would come at a phone call at 8 o'clock at night, or a text message while I'm hosting the show to find out that you're about to get fired.
Email 9 a.m. Hey, finish out your day. It's
Right.
like, what?
Make sure it's that was a bold move, having the board operator and Cam during the show, the guy who hits the dump button.
What happened? Oh, when you got fired during the show?
Mid-show. It's like, still do Frank, though. It's like, if I didn't respect Frank, I would have just left. But I'm like, okay,
I still
I'll
need
work
you to
Frank's
do
show till noon.
Oh, God.
Well, we all get along. Even the people that aren't here anymore. I saw Kat Saturday as I walked in the press box. Hold on, I need a picture. Micro coverage.
I saw that. I love
see
that.
that picture.
That was great.
Yeah, I don't know. But I'm happy. I'll listen. I'll answer anything. If you want to talk about anything, I'll answer anything. I don't know if I would call it frustrated. I'm just accepting of the fact that it doesn't necessarily matter what we say. Some people, not everybody. It wouldn't be fair to say everybody, but some people just won't believe it because, in part, some people just don't like certain members of the show for whatever reason, and it's a case-by-case basis. Back when we were talking politics, Doug had a lot of people who didn't like him. Loved Doug as a guy, but hated his politics. And Jackson and I were talking about this when we were out golfing with your father last week. One of the more fascinating parts of that was they were mad at me for Doug's politics.
Right.
which was, I guess kind of like blaming me for Iggy leaving the fan page. I don't know, but whatever. Like I said, if you've done this for as long as I've done it, and Iggy's done it longer than I've done it. I was in high school when Iggy started. You just kind of understand the way that the game is played.
Right.
But I also understand there was something that I saw where Mark Cuban went on with Skip Bayless. And
I saw that.
Oh, have you seen that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Bayless.
And it's embarrassing. I've never said this before. I felt badly for Skip Bayless.
I did too.
Because Cubans look at him like, you don't understand. What you're saying doesn't matter.
Right. Richard Sherman, too. When Richard Sherman told Skip Bayless, I'm better at life than you, I felt really bad because it was on his show.
It doesn't matter. Like, like in your world, it matters.
Right.
But in the real way that things go down, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Now if Tommy Mattern or John Kiowski said, hey, can we get together? We're concerned about Iggy's, whatever. I'd go, oh, well, we got a situation. But, I like to talk about whatever, anything with regards to the show, anytime, whether it be on the podcast or on TMA itself, or I'll email people, if they want a question, they want to just have it be answered via email. I'll answer all day long. That's why I said yesterday, if you want things different with the best of or anything with the show,
yeah.
This is my baby, so it's not wasting my time or bothering me. That's the job, man. The job, the quote unquote difficult part of the job, if it's even difficult, is 10:01 to 6:59 a.m. The great part of the job is 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Couldn't agree more.
The easiest part of the whole gig is actually on air talking.
But that's fine. That's the responsibility that I chose to take on when Inside STL took over ownership of the intellectual property. And we license it out to Hubbard, just for the record. Plowhawk's checks and Iggy's checks and Jackson's checks and KG and O-Town's checks now and Doug's checks and my checks are not signed by me. They're signed by Hubbard. We license out the content. So I do not have free reign here to do things,
Skeletons.
in case people think that that's the case. So, yeah, I'll answer any questions. But if Iggy, there was that one email a month or two ago where I got done reading it, and I'm like, that one was... I was uncomfortable reading it, and then Iggy's like, I don't care, and I'm like, oh my God, if you don't care about that one, then I don't know.
As long as they don't talk about my family, I don't care.
Right, and that would never make its way through the filtered file.
No,
you know what I mean?
No.
So the reason there's a filtered file is actually Plowhawk getting fired on the air, although it wasn't on the air, it was over our phones while we were on the air.
Correct.
In 2019, because an email came in which a business that was advertising felt like the email was making fun of that business, and that business, one of the representatives from that business contacted KFNS management, and as opposed to any due process, the response was, Plowhawk's gone.
Yeah.
Via my phone, too. I'm just like, it's like 8:30, or I guess like 9:50. It had to be 9:50 because I'm like, wow, that was quick. I read the email, and like 8 minutes later, MF's gone.
I'm hitting Frank's open, and I get an email. I'm like, oh, when did that happen?
You hit the open, and then you change the tab to Indeed or one of the job sites to get a new one.
Just got done with the show 5 minutes
Should we talk to
ago.
Tim? Should we talk to Plowsy, see what happened? No, we'll take this email, and you're gone.
I like the filter file, though. I think it's fun
the
addition.
filtered file is certainly helpful. I just worry sometimes that Jackson doesn't. Like yesterday, I said, you have time to read them.
Yeah.
Because...
Well, after that one of Iggy, I was more robust in my filtering process, reading through. Because I think that one came from a familiar friend who kind of sniped. Usually, after months and months or even years of consistent quality emails, those get a quicker skim and someone fired shots that I didn't notice necessarily. So now I'm much more robust in my filtering process.
Iggy, you can bang my wife any day, bro. Seriously, that's from the recovering alcoholic from Belleville and Webster. Look at that.
That is the first time that he has offered her up to me.
Wow.
Everybody else in this dais, listeners, strangers, that's the first time I've been given the chance.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, it's a real honor.
It is.
Because literally any guest host who comes in here, I feel like, is given the opportunity, or a guest in studio.
Well, the next time I see him together, I'll actually go up to her and say, do you know that you're mine now?
Clip that off.
That'll go well.
Speaking of someone who you've expressed interest in, but this is a serious post, is someone who has been involved heavily with someone who has been dealing with the most difficult year of their life, physical health and mental health-wise, I have a newfound appreciation for the mental health aspect. The stigma around mental health is a horrible thing. Hoping all is well with you, Iggy, and I feel for anyone that is truly dealing with it. That's from Scott's Wrinkled Ballsack.
I am fine, but thank you, and we love your wife. I think she's in Hawaii. I think she went on a little.
How do you know that?
I think she
Facebook,
said so. Yeah.
Man, you must have a different algorithm. I'm friends with them, but I feel like I never see their posts. Maybe I'm.
So she's in Hawaii and he's at home?
I think
guess so, unless they
think
took the whole family. That's an expensive airfare bill.
No, we're thinking of you, and we all love you on the show.
Proud to be one of the only seven texters read on this show per the thread. What's per the thread? Oh, per that post, I guess?
Yeah.
Mazel, Mr. Tim, and Mazel, Jim Hayes Enterprises. People feel like only 7 texters get read?
Yeah, there was a comment in there saying that only 7 make it through the gate.
Interesting.
I bet you the other.
And, I used to respond to that, and I'm just like, okay, say whatever you
I would
say.
love
It
to
doesn't matter, it's not true, and they'll be here tomorrow at 7:07.
They're mad because they're not witty or funny enough. Like the texts suck. They keep sending the same sucky
But it's not.
text.
It's not set, it's maybe 700.
We read everybody.
What are you gonna do? You can't please everyone.
You're welcome to give your thoughts. Call in if you would like. I got to look at my phone in case people have been calling in. I apologize. KG in O-Town, 636-9004 TMA. Or you can email it for our Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email today, the morning after, at InsideSTL.com. That's Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling, sponsor of our email of the day. Appliance Discounters is a sponsor of the 8 o'clock hour. If you're in the market for an appliance, look no further than Appliance Discounters and their 80,000 square foot warehouse full of GE appliances and other major brands ready for delivery. Shop online at theappliancediscounters.com, where pricing has been adjusted to beat everybody in the competition. I just got a dishwasher from there earlier in the year. Doug said he's got all of his appliance from Appliance Discounters. Go online at theappliancediscounters.com. 80,000 square foot warehouse. When your dishwasher goes out, washer, dryer goes out, refrigerator, you can't wait for weeks to get that product replaced. The Appliance Discounters can get it to you quick, fast, in a hurry. Online at theappliancediscounters.com with 5 area locations to take great care of you. Jackson, can you tell me about your pant, boy?
Yeah, that pant is Muggsy. Everyone knows it. You hear me talk about the jeans, and they're incredible. They stretch, super comfortable, look outstanding, ton of different colors and styles. But it's not just jeans. Chinos, joggers, shorts, swimwear, jackets, flannels. These are staples that every guy needs in their closet, and that's what Muggsy can provide for you. And it's consistent quality across the board. Just because you buy a pair of jeans, you're nervous. Will the shorts feel just as good? They do. They feel just as good and look just as good. I love wearing my Muggsy shorts in the summer. They look great from the boardroom to the ballpark. So head to Muggsy.com right now and you use the promo code. That promo code is TMA, and what that gets you is 10% off your entire order plus free shipping and for returns. Again, that promo code is TMA for 10% off your entire order. Free your balls once and for all and experience life-changing comfort with Muggsy.
There it is. And if you are dealing with feeling sluggish, not necessarily feeling like you're putting on muscle like you used to, if you think that you've put on some weight and haven't really changed anything, these can be symptoms of low testosterone. Go online at lowtusa.com. It's FDA-approved testosterone treatment. Board-certified physicians who work with most insurance. Decreased mental acuity, attention span, and stress can cause focus issues on even the most simple tasks. Belly fat, feeling bloated, and a lack of lean muscle and tone that used to be easy to get rid of and maintain, and low libido, disinterested in spouse or partner, which can lead to relationship problems. Mentality is a local healthcare facility specifically dedicated to helping men feel and perform at their very best. Even if you've tried testosterone before, not everyone understands the blood chemistry in men's bodies. Mentality can help. Go online at lowtusa.com. That's lowtusa.com. We're in the Michelob Ultra Studios here in our Appliance Discounters 8 o'clock hour. Tim McKernan, Action Jackson sitting in for the vacationing Douglas Elvin Vaughn. Iggy, the Plowhawk, KG in O-Town, is in the Horton Watkins Studios. Friends of the Feather are welcome to call in, 636-9004-TMA. That's how you know your voice can be heard. You are also welcome to email in for our Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email today. And, of course, you can text in to the EDF group, text inbox 314-881-TMA5, 314-881-TMA5. Now that we know that Iggy is okay, can he pop out that 65-year-old uncut snorkel for me so I can treat it like he treats his microphone? That's from Michael Frank's Love.
Snorkel?
That doesn't even sound pretty.
No, it does not.
You know, I was listening to a podcast, probably Holly Randall's, one of my go-tos, and I don't know who she was talking to, but it was just last week, and I've already listened to the whole thing. And I only listen to them when I find the adult film star.
She always has great guests, though.
She does. And she was saying that she preferred, this adult star preferred the Uncut Love.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a big
I
development.
think a lot of them do with anal, but I don't know about outside anal.
Outside anal, like outdoors?
Yeah, just
Is that a
regular
t-shirt
sex.
we should make?
Just regular shirt.
Outdoors anal.
Outdoors anal.
TMA, outdoors anal. Since
Anal.
2004.
Yeah, I don't know.
Summer 2023.
I don't know if back when I was a kid, when I was born, if at first I thought it was maybe it cost too much, but I think it's not that expensive. I always thought it was a Jewish thing, that all Jewish males got cut.
They talked about it on the podcast that it's really more of an American thing
Really?
than anything else than I think more people are actually uncircumcised around the world.
Right.
And I guess when you think about that, that would stand to reason. Well, I'm telling you, when both of my sons were born, they go, we got to take them now. And I go, okay, good. We'll go to bed. They're going to go circumcise them. I go, oh, God.
Yeah.
It's poor my boy.
Yeah, look what they did to my boy. The Jewish people, we have a celebration around it. It's called the bris.
Yep.
So other people, it's a more of a, just like a.
And who does it? A mole?
A moil.
Man in love.
A man. No, a moil.
Moil?
Correct.
Well, I didn't have a moil or a doctor. I just didn't get it done.
Iggy, my wife and I can send some nudes to cheer you up. That's from caller Buzz.
What is the cheering up thing? God almighty.
They're going to take this and roll with it.
If you want to send nudes, go ahead. But no, please don't. There was some guy.
You don't want nudes?
There was some guy DM me a couple of weeks ago.
With nudes?
Jinx code?
No, it may have been about a month ago. He said he's a listener to the show, big fan. He goes,
Here's my love.
He said, I love how you always talk freely about, going to Jamaica and that. And he had a picture of him and a wife. He goes, that's my better half. I'm lucky. And he showed a picture of her in a bikini. I said, nice. I said, congratulations to you both. I don't know what to say. And then he goes,
Nice.
he goes, give me time to drink a few scotch and get the courage up, and I'll send you some nudes. I said, no, I'm good.
Oh,
I'm
God.
good.
Wow, what a...
I said, I'm good.
I don't
worry
get
about it."
these kind of DMs.
I'm so glad
No, I don't want to be part of it, because then Iggy's asking for nudes. No, I didn't. I said,
Yeah, I got to tell you something. That was a savvy play on your
I
part.
said, no, I'm good. Don't do it.
Please.
That was a because that's the thing.
Yeah. You don't know what they're going to do. I didn't know the guy.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, one of my attorney friends said, he goes, just assume everything is going to be screenshot.
Yeah.
Every single communication you make is going to be screenshot. And now at this point, because Missouri is a one-party state, everything on the phone is recorded.
Yep.
Just to operate. Now, I felt that way in 2016 as it was, but it's just the way that I operate. Is that it's going to be screenshot, whatever. People know I'm a godless pervert. I don't think that would necessarily be breaking news. Buzz says, Iggy, I know you're good. I just want to send your pictures of us naked. Also, let's play golf together soon. Cheers. That's from caller Buzz.
Well, I don't need the nudes, but we can play golf whenever you want, buddy.
Take the golf.
I say I'll
hold the
play
nudes.
golf with anybody. I don't care.
Name of the segment.
Well, almost everybody.
Guys, I'm using this conversation right now. That's from Mr. Fong of the Dildo Shop.
That's hot.
Yeah, that is hot. I don't think girls care either way as long as you know how to work it. That's from Bill's wife, who, of course, is a female.
Yeah, see? Yep. That's further proof if I've ever heard it.
Obviously extremely attractive.
I got to tell you, the first time I ever saw one was in porn.
An uncut penis? What about yours?
Yeah, you never looked down?
No, the first time I ever saw a cut.
Oh, is that
right?
right?
Really?
Circumcised on porn. And I actually was wondering, God, what happened to the guy's penis?
Clip that off.
I'd never seen it before.
Huh?
Is that gentle?
I don't know. It just says, huh. That's the only name of it.
Guys, when I saw that comment bitching about the same 7 textures getting read, I grabbed my iPad like number 23, as in Jordan, for a chuckle and a quote, I had no problem with the glove moment. That's from Carlos Spicy Wiener. Yeah, I don't know what to say. If I could show the text inbox, you would see. Yeah, I don't even know how many different
You just
accounts.
scrolled
Yeah, I just
1,000 people, and then we're like till 7 o'clock.
Disclaimer: I love this show, but.
Oh, he hates it, actually.
Always a
the
but.
day I consider sending pictures of my wife to this show for validation, please have me institutionalized. That will be the day where I have truly lost my mind. Thanks. That's from Kevin's brother, Jack, and then his last name is Ademov.
I think I'm with him a little bit, but also we beg for the...
No. It's always Ray King sends it in, and then everyone else
fake.
does.
Those are fake. Isn't it him
No,
and a
King's
dude?
in the picture.
No, yeah.
Well, isn't he him and a
sometimes
dude?
in a guy with a beard.
He tried to join the dating
like
game?
Kisses him. Yeah, and Iggy wouldn't let him in. No, that's how it happened. Anytime people send in their wives, it's because Ray King sends a picture of his wife, and then everyone else starts doing it.
Let's see. Wow. That's from the Hunchback of Long Castle. I don't know what that means. It's a screenshot. I don't know who Brian. Well, it's from Front Office Sports. Okay. I thought this was in reference to our discussion. And it's a screenshot of the money behind the bid to buy the Washington Commanders might be connected to the same bloody Saudi regime bankrolling Live Golf. The NFL has its issues, but if true, it will be interesting to see if it partakes in the sports washing. That's one of the worst tweets I have ever read in my life, and I would like to apologize to the audience for reading it. It has all of the things that I hate in journalism, social media journalism included in it. Let me go through them for you. Roman numeral number 1, might. The money behind the bid to buy the Commanders might be connected to the same bloody Saudi regime. By using the adjective bloody, it already tells you what perspective the agenda is coming from on the top 100%. Now, these are things that if you aren't in this industry, you might not realize are going on, but they're infiltrating your subconscious just to bring you up to speed on the way the game is played right now in an industry that is dying a very quick death. Bankrolling Live Golf. The NFL has it. So now so then the next step is you've established a potentially true but don't know premise, and then you give your take after you've built the possible premise. The NFL has its issues, but if true, it will be interesting to see if it partakes in the sports washing. Nice work. Really nice. So what do we get from that?
It's building something on a false premise. That's a classic fallacy.
Well, I mean, it may be true, but he's not reporting it.
Right, but it's building something that might be true, and you're already having a take on it before evidence is concrete.
It'll be amazing to see how many, and trust me, there'll be many stations, other Twitters pick up.
Yeah, you're right.
Did you guys hear about Washington?
Because they're
selling to the Saudis, and then it'll go from one thing to another.
The aggregators.
People don't see the might.
Well, they do, but then they can say Front Office Sports is reporting.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you can then do your take smithing.
You cover yourself.
Yeah, if there's anything that's going to get me to leave the show, it's just that crap, actually, more than, whatever other things that you may
Please don't leave. Please don't leave, Tim. Please don't leave.
I'm leaving the show. But that was the TMA conspiracy theory.
Don't leave.
If I ever have a paragraph plus a post on the TMA fan page, please take me out back like Old Yeller. That's from The Reluctant Cuck. And then there's Ray King and his buddy with the beard making out at a Blues game.
Yeah.
There it is. That's the one.
That is a cute pic.
That's the one. KG in O-Town, what is your perspective on this?
What aspect?
Because you're on the other side of it. I know that you said that you apologized to Iggy on Friday if he took it personally. I personally don't think, Iggy, that KG in O-Town was doing any of it personally, but I think you got tired of what you felt. Tell me if I'm wrong on this. What you felt like were the posts on the fan page that weren't necessarily in good fun, but were mean-spirited, and those are the people you block. Am I correct on that? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just getting tired of seeing things. But KG, and I said, all you got to do is talk things out, and I'm fine, and we did, and we're fine.
Yeah.
I don't hold grudges.
And I'm happy to hear that. I appreciate that.
So I mean, I guess the whole the basis for the thread, if the person who posted it really is concerned, you're hearing directly from Iggy. But if we were really concerned, it wouldn't be something that we would be tending to on the air. It would be like it was that Sunday afternoon when I called you. That's the way that things would go down. Just, but again, I would imagine most people in the audience know that. And so what you can't, another thing that happens with social media is you see one post, and this isn't even about TMA, this is about like some bat crap liberal or bat crap conservative, and now all conservatives and all liberals have to own that one bat crap liberal who had the bat crap take, or that bat crap conservative who had the conservative take. You know, just because one person in the audience was saying this doesn't mean the entire audience is thinking it. You see what I'm saying?
Right. And oftentimes people can misconstrue that.
And I'm being 100% honest when I say the reason I left the fan page is not because of the stuff said about me. It's because I got tired of seeing my whole page just flooded with fan page stuff. That's all it was. Now it's kind of nice because I go, oh, I haven't seen her in a while. Oh, what's she doing? I get to see it because I don't open up my feed and fan page. It's all
well,
fan
as I
page.
told you, you can take care of that with one click, and I can do that for you in a second.
But
Or
then
you
I
wouldn't
don't.
have it.
But then I don't want to have to miss certain things.
But you're not getting any of it now on the fan page.
Yeah, that's fine though because I don't really miss it.
Okay, all right.
But it has nothing to do with I'm tired of seeing this. I'm tired of just getting it all the time on my page. And it's not just the fan page. I mean, there's a girl that I've known for 15, 20 years that we've been friends. I haven't really kept up with her. She used to date a couple people that we've worked with. But I got tired of the dig me posts like, oh, another guy came up to me and said, you're hot, could we date? Oh, yeah, that's a nice one, buddy. And last night I was out and two guys tried to hit on me again. And it's just all it is he hit on me, hit me. I hate it. I can't take anymore. Goodbye. I did. I blocked her.
Wow.
I don't want to see these things of you dig me. I'm hot. All these guys are after me. But you haven't had a boyfriend in 20 years.
Damn.
I just don't want to see it anymore. Had nothing to do with she was mean to me. I just got tired of seeing the post.
Do I know this person?
I think everybody does. I'll tell you at the break.
Nice.
I don't even need you to tell me. That's the neat thing about it. If you are really concerned, check with the man himself. Don't make a post to get a bunch of attention. That's from caller Buzz.
I did love the bashing of the comments asking about, is Iggy okay? Why did he take that 10 days off? And then you got the guy right underneath that, screw that dude, taking over the show. It's like, dude, just calm down. It's a show.
Read more text from the people, not your butt buddies from SLU. That's from the 314. Well, it's time to go into the text history here in the engineer design facilities.
No, it's telling.
I have a feeling. I don't even. That's again. In a way, it's a little boring because I've been doing this so long that I already know what's coming. But let's go ahead because this is like balloon party. This is kind of like this is. You know,
yeah, that.
I already know.
There.
I already know what I'm going to get myself into. Let's see. Let's see. Pay your taxes, Plowhawk. You can't deduct pizza Lunchables and honey buns. Pay your dues! Exclamation point. That is the text that was sent in above the one that said read more text. None of my friends who went to St. Louis U High with me, you'll be stunned to hear, text into the EDF text inboxes. Guys in their mid-40s with families, you know. So I don't go, hey, you know, I know we went to St. Louis U High together, and therefore I will read your texts on the show. I'd like to think that that should be an obvious thing, but if people think my buddies from high school 29 years ago get to the front of the line in the EDF text inbox, just for the record, that is not true.
It'd be funny if the text...
Thank you for your questions.
I have a buddy from high school right there, Sweet Sweet Kai. He's still in the areas in the text inbox.
It'd be funny if every
Kai.
text from a SLU High grad had like this crest on the corner.
AMDG.
All bolded. It's all in bold.
Oh, and here's the guy who follows us for 3 hours, hate texts into TMA, and then hate texts into Balloon Party.
Nice.
Yeah, that one. That's the whole thing. It's the 636497 guy. New front runner for listener of the month, right there. That's from the Birthday Hawk. Warson Woods Wacko says, I take great offense to that loser claiming I'm a butt buddy from SLU. Try to come up with something other than Venom, you bum. That's from the Warson Woods Wacko.
Love that guy.
And you're playing golf with him?
Whenever they let the stragglers out on the course. Whenever they aerated, I think that's probably when they...
Literally minutes after aeration is when they call you.
Thanks, Tim, for reading my text. I know it's because my golf cart is fast, and the only reason you read my text. Iggy, my apologies for misspelling your name in gin yesterday. You are, in fact, in there. Now let's get some scores posted. Practice time is over. That's from Mr. 63011.
Yeah, when next time I play, I'll keep score. That was my first time out since Jamaica, and Jamaica was my first time out since September. whenever we played the Lemmings. No, when we played against
Nagel.
Miracle at Meadowbrook.
But if I get out and play this week, I'm going to try to play tomorrow because I think it's supposed to rain Thursday.
I'm trying to play
even though it's going to be in the 80s.
What's the weather look like today?
Oh, I'll play tomorrow.
Today's partly cloudy. I think 77, 78, something like that.
Hawk tomorrow.
Hawk yesterday. Boy, I played yesterday.
Oh, you
Hawk
did?
City.
It was so windy.
See if you posted your score in your man of honor.
I did.
We'll get to the bottom.
It was
of that
only
right
9
now.
holes, but I had 9 holes outstanding, so I
know what you're
connected
talking
them
about
up.
there.
Yeah, it was. There was one point. It was like a 2-club wind at one point. Where it was,
Oh.
and even then, I still didn't get there.
You butt that a
I have a
5-iron?
buddy who works at a very nice private course.
88 is Jackson's newest score.
I have a buddy who works at a very nice private course. who
St. Louis Country Club you played yesterday.
No. Who let me on to play? I don't know if I want to give that as.
But
I don't think it's like.
log. I think he was at the log.
They're
That's why it was
allowed.
9 holes. That's why it was 9 holes.
They're allowed to bring guests.
Yeah, it was Monday, so no one was out there. It was OW, Old Warson. Played there.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Oh, Monday.
Monday, right. It was the first I walked. It was the first time I've played there in my life, so I wanted to get out there and just played 9. Struggled a little bit. Connected that with a score.
I spent many a days there as a kid in the summer's time. We'd go there early in the morning. We'd go crawdad fishing. We would swim in the lake over the par 3 and go diving for golf balls.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Always
I mean,
on Mondays
it's
because
gorgeous.
nobody's there.
Right, it was gorgeous.
Guys, what's the app to use for handicaps? Flocky the Smurf. Well, I think most pros use Grint, but other people use the USGA GIN app. GHIN. What does it stand for? Golf Handicap Index? Is that what it stands for?
Yeah.
And if you want to support local, get it through Metropolitan Golf Association. That way you kind of support them,
That's
too.
what I have, Metropolitan Amateur Golf Association. There it is. And a reminder, since we're talking about it, I just want to keep saying this. Call the Pro Shop if you're playing in the Michelob Ultra J. Randolph Jr. Fan Page Club Championship and pay today. How many people, Iggy, I'm going to set the over-under. There's 64 people in the field. I'll say 31.5 over-under.
Did you put it on the fan page, too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go over 31. I'll say over 31, short of 45. Between 31 and 45 people.
Yeah, fair enough. Jackson, what do you want to do? 31 and a half.
Over.
Wow.
Yeah.
Falk, you on the over, too? Did I set a bad number?
Nah, under 23. You know me. I have no faith.
How many of us 4 will pay?
I'll call a shot
I'm
on
not
my
sure
way
I'll pay
home,
today.
I think.
Last year I just gave him cash when I got there.
That's what I thought last time. I thought what we were supposed to do is go in and pay when we play, or at the beginning.
It's just a way
of
to
the first match.
organize it and make sure that all the money's
Makes
there and they divvy it up. Tim, I went to DeSmet. Can I please, and I mean please, let be your butt buddy? That's from B Money. Let's see. Hey, Tim, thanks for reading my text. Makes me feel like one of the cool painters up in this bitch. That's from Painter Guy. I figured out that this show reminds me of my ex-wife. Low class, lack of awareness, but kind of kinky. I stayed with her for 19 years. You boys have 5 more years until I move on. I love you. That's from Starfish Street. God, he got divorced after 25 years. Ooh. Wonder how
He's
that...
on the prowl now.
Huh. Oh, you know what? My understanding is divorce is oftentimes actually now, what do they call it? There's a term for it. And I know that...
Amicable?
No. That's the public statement. Like silvered, something like that. I don't know what it is.
No idea.
Like after, like you didn't really like each other, but you stayed together for the kids, and then the kids turn 18. Plus, then you don't have child support.
Silver era divorce.
I think that's it. KG in O-Town, and those
Also known
are,
as the fan page.
That's what it is. Jackson just turned away like he was uncomfortable. Like he felt like somebody hit a shot to the gut.
I was
If
wondering
that's going on, I wasn't aware of that.
that
either.
laugh
There's a
really
lot of older
loud.
people on the fan page, like trying to hook up.
No, it's just the unhappies that don't want to go through a divorce, so they
The
just kind of roll into the
Also known as the sad.
sad.
Guys, what's the number for the Seckman text inbox? That's from Waffle Fries. Hoosiers, Fats, and more Hoosiers. That is the fan page, minus a few normals. Love the show, guys. That's Mr. Fong from the Dildo Shop. I got divorced after 20 years. That's from the 314. Well, I'd like to ask a follow-up. What was the cause? Because what this article I was reading was saying that a lot of it's just like, the kids are out of the house, and you kind of realize, we don't really like each other, still have a long time left to live, don't really want to spend it with her or him, and so I'm going to now, go to Napoli and find some filler. So that's the move.
Yeah.
Did you just make a sound?
I meant to say yeah.
What happened there?
And then something got caught in my throat. And
It was one of those Iggy moments.
Welcome to my world.
Oh, the answer, he just sent it in. She cheated. That's from the 314.
Well, that makes a lot more, that makes it easy just to get out.
Hey, Virgin, do you wait 48 hours for girls and guys or just girls only? That's from the Warson with Wacko.
Good text.
I knew that Jackson was good.
Good text, really. How long did it take to think that one up? Really dug deep in the bag for that one, huh? This guy.
Oh, Jackson's bad.
I like him so much because he's such a good guy.
Jackson doesn't have enough callous skin like the rest of us in here.
I do. Like, I really I like him, and I take most things in stride because anytime I talk to him, he's so wonderful. And then on here, he talks to me like I'm his damn subordinate. Like, what do I look like? Don't call me.
Wow, Banty Rooster.
No, I'm all right.
You nailed it, Tim. Stayed for the kid until he turned 18, then moved on to a sexy secretary. I couldn't be happier. That's from Starfish Street.
Oh, I like the honesty, though.
I wonder how common that is. I don't know why that divorces are down for people in the quote-unquote younger ages, but up for people in their 50s.
But if you look, people are getting married at an older age now, if I'm not mistaken. I think it jumped up a couple age bracket or a couple.
Oh yeah, in a major way. It's just like work from home. Game has changed, man. Yeah. So one of the things that has become kind of I don't know if I would call it a mainstream topic because I don't think it's a mainstream topic, but maybe it is, and if it is, I apologize. I don't know if you gentlemen have heard this. Is on the dating apps that guys will, I don't know what swipe. Which way are you swiping if you're interested in somebody?
Right. Oh,
right.
just
Thank you.
The mad.
Oh, the mad swiping. Right. Okay.
Power swiping.
Guys will swipe right on everyone.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think most guys would probably go, yeah, I could certainly see myself doing that. But the lasses will only choose, I don't know, a very small. I mean, I'm talking about, I think, a single-digit percentage of people who they would deem sufficient to go out with. And so you have a large number of guys, now that this is the way that people are meeting, who are not, sounds very primal, but mating and become, the harsh term would be incels, but single, lonely, and that is how you then get to take your pick of whatever issue that is plaguing society, is because you don't have a partner, and then you turn to social media, you turn to take your pick of whatever thing that, government, political conspiracy theories, because you're lonely, you're not necessarily interacting, your peers now at this point have paired off, but you're by yourself, and so now you're expressing your frustration in your 20s or 30s because you are not acceptable in the dating pool for whatever reason. But a large reason is these dating apps, and whereas guys are, they're casting their reel out and wherever, only a handful of those actually get responses. Now, I was married before all of this stuff started up, so I can't speak to it, but I guess, Plowhawk, I know you've been a man in love for years, so you can maybe speak to it, and Jackson,
When I was on it, man, it was all about what app I was on. Because Tinder, you would just mad swipe. I mean, that was you knew you were going to deal with a lot of bots.
Yeah.
And so that was the mad swipe. But for Bumble, I guarantee you the number is higher for females swiping right because
they
it's
have to
the
send the
full
first
control.
message.
You don't have to worry about a creepy message from a random dude like you would on Tinder. You
Good point.
have the control to eliminate and make your timeline, I guess, kind of how you would like. So I think it's a little bit higher up, but I was mad swiping on Tinder when I was on it because that's kind of how it was. And this was 8 years ago, and I mean now you'd say Tinder's even more bot central. And
I don't use Tinder anymore. It's just it's all Bumble and Hinge.
Yeah, Hinge was not. I've never used Hinge.
So why don't you use Tinder anymore? I have no idea about what the difference is.
It's been around so long, and like the Hinge and Bumble have taken their original idea and the idea of online dating when started by Tinder, but this idea of an app and swiping and it's all vertical was certainly Tinder's bailiwick, and Hinge and Bumble improved on it, in my opinion, and now Tinder's just kind of full of a lot of bots, kind of full of a lot of if someone has a Bumble account, it's not out of the realm of possibility to believe that they also have a Hinge and a Tinder account.
1,000,000%.
So you kind of get the same idea of people on Bumble and Hinge, but the apps are better in my opinion, so you just use those two.
Got it. This comes from your buddy Sweet Kai. My girlfriend's older sister, who's 40, just got out of a 5-year-long distance relationship. So we convinced her to make a Bumble profile. 2 days later, she had 680 fellas, quote, interested in her. And then she said she only considered 9 of them.
Wow. Sweet.
So that's what this,
yeah, right.
You see what I'm saying?
The proof's in the pudding, yeah.
That's the ratio. And it's not like all of a sudden, well, it didn't work for her. I mean, hey, listen, and I'm not saying this is a joke. I recognize, you can have height preferences, correct?
Oh, yeah.
So,
well, yeah, you can see how tall people are.
Okay, but so yeah, if you're and I totally get it. It is coming from the small community that's not something that a lot of women, especially if they have their pick, are looking for, or if they're not even necessarily my height. If they want to be able to wear heels and not look like Casey Kasem and his wonderful wife Jean, then it's just something that the woman doesn't want to necessarily be self-conscious of.
Right.
So I understand that whole game. So you have that. The financial prowess, that's not public, right?
No,
it is at parties in the park in Napoli, but it's not at...
You can put your employment on there, like where you work and what you do.
So you have HD2.
I would have that in bold. HD2 radio.
Well,
it's
a real long explanation if I want to put my full job. So I think I just put 101 ESPN because I think it's just easier.
God.
Oh, that's money. That's a move.
I just think it's easy. Well,
makes me think of Peter and Jesus of Nazareth in the New Testament, in which he denied his loyalty to Jesus. That's what that makes me think of.
I will change it right now to HD2 radio.
Oh, you should.
Radio tough.
That's when you're going to get a lot of swipes.
That's all of a sudden. Mr. Lick says, can Jackson please read his bio and his dating app profiles? If he says movie buff, I'll be disappointed. That's from Mr.
Does
Lick.
not say movie buff.
And see, with the dating apps now, females are more independent than ever before. It used to be...
They don't feel the pressure that they got to get married, which I think is wonderful because they never needed to. And some just don't want to have kids, and God bless. Good for you. You're independent. The hell. Tip of the cap. Absolutely. You want to bang. You want to get off, as you should. So, F that crap. That stuff's over. Yep. For a lot of people, anyway. I'm sure you still got some parents, on your ass, but, those days are coming to an end.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Let's see what we just said. All right, we will take a commercial break because we have the people from Evolution Fest are coming. Is that what you just texted me?
Yeah. Just got a text about that. They're coming down here.
That'll be great. So this is the festival that's going to be in August, correct?
I believe so, yeah. We did an app contest for it.
So we'll be talking that over with them in studio here coming up. Tommy Manor just texted Jackson. I remember we talked about them coming in, so they're going to come in the next segment. Plus the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. This is the Ryan Kelly Morning After from the Michelob Ultra Studios.
Biggies Restaurant and Bar has been a staple of the community for over 30 years and is serving your favorites like the steak sandwich, waffle fries, and so much more. It's not just the food that's rocking. With a full bar and patio, Biggies is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, and a little laughter. Biggies' original hours are back. Open 11 a.m. till midnight, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And 11 a.m. till 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Check out the full menu at biggiesrestaurant.com and stop in today.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan of TMA, and we are thrilled to have another new sponsor on board the show. A couple of guys I have gotten to know. Longo Biggs, Injury Law, Doug Biggs, and C.D. Longo here with me. And C.D., one of the things that I want our audience to know is this. When people get injured in an accident, they don't necessarily know what to do, and that's where you guys come into play.
Yeah. Tim, it can be a very confusing process. If you get hurt in a car accident or injured some other way, people do not know what to do. They don't even know how to start a claim. We're going to take the hassle out of your hands and make the entire process very easy. Injury cases are potentially worth a lot of money. We're going to make sure you get every dollar you deserve. We're very excited to be part of the TMA family. We're hoping to have a lot of fun with this. If you are a loved one, do get injured, please remember us at Longo Biggs Injury Law. You can visit our website at longobiggs.com, and that is Biggs with 2 G's.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. I've been the title sponsor of the Morning After for over a decade. And in these 10 years, I've learned a lot about shrubs and Totem and, of course, our fearless leader, Tem. I honestly can't think of anywhere else I'd rather be. Huge shout out and thank you to all the listeners. It's because of you that this is possible. Thank you for supporting the sponsors. If you ever need a home loan, I'm your guy. It all starts today at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Driving the ball 300 yards is cool and impresses your buddies, but scoring amounts to getting the ball in the hole. Thus, the best way to lower your scores is to improve your short game. If you want a golf green that putts true and gives you real grass performance when practicing chips, pitches, and bunker shots, the only company to call is Clubhouse Turf, St. Louis's exclusive partner of Celebrity Greens. Each Clubhouse Turf signature green is unique in design and can create your own backyard golf experience that your family and friends will enjoy for years to come. Call Clubhouse Turf today at 314-802-6229. Or visit them online at clubhouseturf.com.
Engineer Design Facilities is moving forward as the EDF Group, the most experienced data center and critical facilities service provider in the St. Louis market. Check out the newly revamped website, theedfgroup.com, and take a look at each of the 3 divisions they have to offer. EDF Group is your one throat to choke for all your critical facilities, data center, commercial fire alarm, and electrical and IT infrastructure needs. To contact the EDF Group, email fire@theedfgroup.com. Experience the EDF Group difference and learn more at theedfgroup.com.
Urban Dictionary defines thirsty as purposely, knowingly, and recklessly attempting to gain fame to boost self-esteem. So, are you thirsty? Well, TMA has you covered. Become a part of the 2023 TMA Listener of the Month Club. You nominate yourself for a monthly award. And if you win, you get recognition and stuff to help you satisfy that insatiable thirst. We're talking January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, etc. Go to TMASTL.com or the TMA app. Give us your name, a photo, and other pertinent information. Tell us why you deserve to be TMA Listener of the Month. And if you don't want to use your real name or photo, we don't really care. The TMA Listener of the Month. Get recognized just for being you, or fake you, or whatever. Quenched by Milagro Tequila. Welcome to the brighter side of tequila with Milagro in the morning after on KPNT HD2.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan with Doug Vaughn to tell you about a new TMA sponsor, and that sponsor is Green Envy, a locally owned and operated company that can take great care of your lawn this spring. They've been in business, Doug, in St. Louis for over a decade.
Well, they know the conditions that exist here in Missouri. It's hard to have a perfect lawn in Missouri. It gets really cold, it gets really hot, it gets really wet, and then really dry. If you don't have people that know what the conditions are like in Missouri, you're going to have trouble. But Green Envy, these people have got it figured out, I tell you.
Yeah, they really do. They treated my lawn earlier this month, and they can do the exact same thing for you. And Green Envy is a company that both Doug and I are using to make sure that our lawns look absolutely spectacular this coming spring and summer. You can work with Green Envy as well. 636-757-1600. That's 636-757-1600. Green Envy.
Hello, it's Jackson for Rosalita's. TMA listeners know that Rosalita's Cantina has the best patio and the best Tex-Mex in town. From tableside guac to piled high nachos, the amazing menu at Rosalita's is full of classic Mexican dishes. Plus, it's always time for a margarita, and Rosalita's has the most delicious house and specialty margs in town. Enjoy happy hour specials Monday through Friday from 3 to 6, and let Rosalita's cater your next event. Check out rosalitascantina.com or visit the downtown or DePere location today. Time to get your fiesta on at Rosalita's.
For more than 7 years, the Totem tournament has been a rite of spring. The azaleas and dogwoods waking the golfing world from its winter slumber.
So, the Totem's back May 18th and 19th at Normandy Golf Club. Brought to you by Michelob Ultra. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Get your foursome together. That's still funny. And join Tim, Iggy, Doug, Jackson, and Plowsy for a day out on the course. Hey, so Friday's sold out now. Few teams remain for Thursday. Get them while you can, with a portion of the proceeds benefiting Birdies for Bipolar. Your ticket gets you in on all the debauchery, including your Mick Ultra beer, breakfast from Donut Drive-In, lunch from Rockstar Tacos, and a kick-ass after party with smash burgers from Rockstar Tacos. The return of the 7th annual TMA Totem Golf Tournament, brought to you by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota. Better than ever for you, their customer, and Family Golf and Learning Center. Learn, practice, and play your best golf. Visit FamilyGolfOnline.com. Get all the Totem info now at TMASTL.com. Thank you. Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPN-TFM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day.
I spent 4 years in San Francisco.
The Ryan Kelly Morning After.
KPN-TFM HD2.
Collinsville, St. Louis.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan of TMA, and we are thrilled to have another new sponsor on board the show. A couple of guys I have gotten to know. Longo Biggs, Injury Law, Doug Biggs, and C.D. Longo here with me. And C.D., one of the things that I want our audience to know is this. When people get injured in an accident, they don't necessarily know what to do, and that's where you guys come into play.
Yeah. Tim, it can be a very confusing process. If you get hurt in a car accident or injured some other way, people do not know what to do. They don't even know how to start a claim. We're going to take the hassle out of your hands and make the entire process very easy. Injury cases are potentially worth a lot of money. We're going to make sure you get every dollar you deserve. We're very excited to be part of the TMA family. We're hoping to have a lot of fun with this. If you are a loved one, do get injured, please remember us at Longo Biggs Injury Law. You can visit our website at longobiggs.com, and that is Biggs with 2 G's.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
I mean, what the hell is going on?
The Ryan Kelly Morning After.
KPN-TFM HD2.
Collinsville, St. Louis.
Sick. It's Ryan Kelly in Morning After, 9 o'clock hour. Tim McKernan, Plowhawk, Jackson Burkett, and KG Ken Strode is out tending to some business. You got that there? Nice. Jackson's texting Taylor Twelman from my phone, and I feel like you just looked at some of the cockpits I have, and I asked you not to.
Yeah, well.
What'd you think, though?
Curious minds.
Amen. What'd you think?
Yeah, you know.
About what I expected.
In my wheelhouse, yeah.
Your wheelhouse. We're going to have the fine folks from Evolution Festival in studio here in the 9 o'clock hour, any minute, like literally any moment. So he's going to come back and probably not have a chair to sit in, and then he's going to go, okay, and then he's going to walk out, and then he's going to make his way
like the
around.
Grandpa Simpson meme.
So if you're watching on YouTube, look for that, because I think that's what's going to happen. We'll have the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email today coming your way here in a matter of moments. And send yours in the morning after at InsideSTL.com. I'd like to tell the people about Green Envy, I am in awe of what Green Envy has done for my lawn, and I know Doug is talking about this as well. They came by and did their first treatment like on March 10th, and what they have done is pure magic. It's locally owned and operated. If you're like, how do I get my lawn in better shape? Green Envy is the move. They only use products that are formulated for our Missouri soil, weather conditions, and turf types. No national, generic, cheap, ineffective products. It's Green Envy. That's the company. You've heard me and Doug talk about them. 636-757-1600. They're open 12 hours a day, Monday through Friday. Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Take your calls, answer questions. It's Green Envy. Crabgrass is going to be a big problem this year, again, with the massive amount of moisture we've had in the spring. It's sure to wake up even the oldest crabgrass seeds. Crabgrass can lay dormant until the conditions are right for up to 15 years. Well, this year the conditions are right, so you're going to be dealing with it, but Green Envy can take care of it for you. 636-757-1600. Oh, Iggy, you got back before the... You
want them in?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. There they are. What a ruckus.
Oh, we got to... Yeah.
You going to be able to fit in here?
I gave up.
Welcome in, friends.
Hello.
What's going on? I thought I saw you out there.
Yeah.
Like, were you supposed to be in today? Hi.
I brought barbecue.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Chris brought barbecue.
Wait. They put me on every show, but this one, you got gobble stuff.
Ah!
So you still got barbecue.
My goodness, look at this. What a crew.
That smells so good.
Thank you.
Welcome into the program. Joe?
How are you?
What's going on? How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Thank you so much for coming in, and thank you for bringing the whole crew. And thank you for doing what you're doing with Evolution Festival. This thing is going to be incredible and a big deal here for our audience, which I know is really enthused about it when we talked about it happening, that tomorrow single-day tickets are going on sale.
Single-day tickets going on sale tomorrow. That's right.
So, if you could tell me what the background is on how this all came together, because I'm very curious. Because there's a lot of enthusiasm for this event.
Well, I like to hear that. Yeah, sure. So, St. Louis has been without a major festival for several years now, and I started my own company to be home a lot more a couple years ago, and I created a partnership with my friend and mentor, Steve Shankman from Contemporary Productions, and we put our heads together initially and said, you know what? Somebody needs to create something in St. Louis, a festival that St. Louis can be proud of and call their own for years to come. And we said, it could be an out-of-towner doing it, but we're both born and raised in St. Louis. We love this city, so why not us? So we decided to put our heads together, and that's where the nugget for Evolution Festival came from.
Yeah, there's a lot of enthusiasm, and people are certainly interested in attending. So tell the people what you have going on and when and how.
Sure. So the festival is taking place August 26, 27 in Forest Park. We've got an incredible lineup of music. We've got, on Saturday, we've got the Black Keys, the Black Crows, Brittany Howard, Nikki Lane, Modern English, Sugar Hill Gang, which a lot of people are excited about. It's 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
50th anniversary of hip-hop this year. So it's timely. And then on Sunday, we've got Brandy Carlisle, Ben Harper and the Innocent Criminals, Ice Cube, who people are really excited about as well.
Yeah, that one's certainly being well received.
Morgan Wade and others. So the pillars of the festival are music, bourbon, and barbecue. So those are kind of the three things that we're really focused on delivering for the fans that come out and experience this thing.
Yeah, I saw Chris from Heavy Smoke making his way around here, and I know that barbecue's a big part of the game, isn't it?
We were very lucky. We've got a lot of the greatest barbecue establishments in St. Louis involved and partnering with us. Chris with Heavy Smoke has been here this morning. We also have Mika from Gobble Stop that's with us as well.
Hello, hello.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely, our pleasure.
Gobble Stop is another one of the great barbecue establishments here in town that's going to be featured at the festival, and we're excited to have them. And we also have Big J from Boatwrights Barbecue.
Hey, Big J.
Doing this morning.
What's up, Big J?
Big J has become our festival hype guy. So
you're the hype man?
So we're bringing him everywhere we go now to talk about Evolution.
Absolutely. What are your guys' specialties, in your opinion? I mean, I'm sure everything is wonderful, but I'd like to hear when people have a barbecue place, when you go, like, what is your, go either, both of you. I want to hear both. Ladies first, Big J's, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Well, we have a unique barbecue at Gobble Stop Smokehouse, actually. We specialize in smoked turkey and chicken. Our main sellers are the turkey tips. You walk in and it's a burnt end. It reminds you of a burnt end.
Yeah.
It's a turkey. And then you're looking at our smoked wings. They're award-winning smoked wings. And we have the turkey ribs, in which I brought in today.
Oh, how do you do?
I'm looking at the turkey ribs right now.
We have the turkey broth as well, something that's going to hit the St. Louis shelves shortly here. As well as I brought in some sweet and spicy sauce, too. To get you guys ready for that as well. So
Thank you so much. What about you?
I tell you what, I wish y'all could smell this through the radio. Y'all can smell me because this is smelling great. I almost lost my words in here. I told her when she first put it out that it smells good. Boatwrights Barbecue is a very unorthodox style of cooking. I've kind of pulled cooking from different walks, different areas. Anybody know barbecue, each region got their style of barbecue. So I kind of like to experiment, so I say test things and push things, and see what I can come up with and come up with my own style. So I might mix something with some Memphis style, with a Texas style going on, a Carolina style with like a Midwest style. And pretty much I cater mostly, so I kind of just give the people what they want. I like to cater to people completely. What they want, I'll give it to them. Make it happen, make a lot of taste buds happy, make a lot of people get strung out.
Barbecue addiction.
That's right.
And that's why y'all want to make this festival, because there's a large group of musicians and bands coming out that's great. A lot of great people. It's going to be a lot of great food, and I've been telling everybody, you want to come out and enjoy this weekend of having meatgasms and good food. It's going to be off the chain. We're going to string some people out.
Oh, I love it.
You can see why I bring him everywhere now.
That's a perfect hype, man. It sounds so good. You can check it out, evolutionfestival.com. Tomorrow, single day tickets go on sale. It's at Forest Park, August 26th and August 27th. And, man, you checked all the boxes with this thing. You got everything with the barbecue, the bourbon, the music.
Well, I mean, listen, in this day and age, festivals have evolved pun intended.
Nice.
Festivals have evolved a lot over the last 10 to 15 years, and it's not just about great music anymore. It's got to be about the other elements as well to really bring people down. So coming up with the right food option. Of course, it's St. Louis. We have to focus on barbecue, right? And bourbon has exploded as a spirit across the country. I think it's the second highest selling spirit now behind vodka. And you know, there isn't really anything large scale in terms of bourbon type events in St. Louis. There's some smaller ones that are really great, but we wanted to do something on a larger scale. So we invited the best barbecue establishments to join us. We invited some of the best bourbon brands to join us. And yeah, I mean, it's really going to be a sort of well-rounded experience.
It sounds incredible. People, I think, were already fired up about it now that they've had a chance to hear more about it. Make sure that you are online tomorrow and get your single-day tickets, evolutionfestival.com. It's all there for you right now, and the single-day tickets go on sale tomorrow. Thank you all for coming in. Thank you all for what you're doing with this. I think St. Louis is really appreciative. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
There it is. And thank
Appreciate
you for the
it.
drinks. There it is. Evolution Festival, August 26th and August 27th. Joe, thank you so much.
Thanks,
appreciate it, man. Thank you, guys. Thank you all very much. There it is. Make sure you're online tomorrow at Evolution Festival.
Thank
we
you so
certainly
much, by the
will.
way.
Thank you very much. Evolutionfestival.com is where you can check things out. All right, you can text in 314-881-TMA5, Engineer Design Facilities. Text inbox 314-881-TMA5, Engineer Design Facilities text inbox. We'll also have the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day, the morning after, at InsideSTL.com. And we will have that coming your way, I would say in about 10, 11 minutes. Make sure that you are sending yours in for the festivities. Currently, the standings here as we head down the stretch. JV Golf Coach with 4 wins, Dragon Slayer with 3, the great Buck Swope with 1, Gunter has 1, here at the Sharkle House 1, and Brian Henshin of Indianapolis and the Milagro Tequila Listener of the month of March has 1. You can compete with the greats by sending them in the morning after at InsideSTL.com. I'm telling you, if you want to look good, if that J. Randolph Jr. Fan Page Club Championship, what you're going to do is you're going to go to Holderness and Bourne. Oh, my. I understand they're sending us some stuff, aren't they?
Yeah.
Iggy can attest that when it comes to fashion, finding clothes that fit properly can make or break the outfit. But when you want to not only look good in all types of weather conditions and swing a golf club comfortably, fit is even more essential. Holderness and Bourne has absolutely nailed the fit because their approach is tailored but not tight, even for those that wear a bigger size. The fit loosens as you get towards large, extra large, and on up, while maintaining the sharp look you can pick out from across the driving range. Make sure that you do this. You go to hbgolf.com and enter the promo code TMA15 and check out their new spring styles and colors. Again, go to hbgolf.com and apply the code TMA15 for 15% off your next order, and feel the difference in their premium golf apparel. Holderness and Bourne, classic style with modern fit and performance. I would imagine that Evolution Festival is going to be a pony.
Oh, my God.
Oh, dude, me and my gal are going for sure.
Is that right?
Oh, we love the Black Keys.
Some
They're
incredible
freaking
acts, and then you have the barbecue and the bourbon on top of that. Yeah, that's going to be a great event. Late August, too.
Yeah.
It's a great time.
I'm legitimately fired up for that.
Plowhawk's going to get into some.
What are you going to? We have, it was 3 monster trays in here.
Tins, so I really
turkey ribs really interest me.
Oh, dude,
I'm interested in trying a turkey rib. I've never had. I've had a beef rib and a pork rib.
Sure.
I've never had a turkey rib.
Plowhawk, is this going to be on the for those watching on YouTube?
This box is really putting them in a pretzel.
Well, I don't want to ruin it. I want to actually reuse the box, the lid.
All right, what do you sausages. Sausages.
Turkey sausage, which for one is unbelievable.
Is that right? I don't know if I've ever had a turkey sausage. Iggy, come on in. They're treats, bro. And what else is there? So there's ribs.
Ribs. I want the burnt ends kind of sound. Turkey burnt ribs. Burnt ends are my favorite barbecue dish.
Where did this come from?
This came from Evolution. Yeah, Gobble Stop.
We got buns for the bees. Oh, this one's heavy.
I'm going to say Plowhawk is going around and opening the tins. Hey, while they were opening the tins, I would tell people the Dominate Adventure with Terex family of rugged side-by-sides. The 2-passenger Terex and 4-passenger Terex 4 recreational side-by-side deliver the perfect balance of performance and comfort on the trails. The 2-passenger Terex KRX 1000 4-passenger Terex KRX. 4 1,000 sport side-by-sides are built with next-level capability and power to deliver the adventure of a lifetime. Get your Terex at Big St. Charles Motorsports, located on I-70 at the Cave Springs exit. That's where you can go to check it out. I was out there about a month and a half ago. And it is truly a destination dealership. People love to go out and see everything that they have there.
It's good for the summer.
Yeah, it really is. I-70 in Cave Springs exit is where you will find it. So support the sponsors, Big St. Charles Motorsports, another new sponsor here on TMA. It's our 9 o'clock hour on the Ryan Kelly Morning After. And Jackson and I will have Taylor Twellman with us coming up on Balloon Party. So for you Doggies fans, Taylor Twellman with us. I'm anxious to talk it over with him about the team because the team's doing damn good, and I'm curious if he expected that and also the style of play, if he thinks it's sustainable to actually make a run. They were kind of talking about that at the tail end of the broadcast on the Cincinnati win on Saturday night. So he's going to be a regular every Tuesday on this program. Taylor Twellman, or on Balloon Party, I'm sorry, he's going to be a regular. You know who's going to be a regular on this program every Thursday?
Joey Zanaboni.
Joey Zanaboni.
Is he really?
Yep.
Oh, my God.
Sponsored segment.
That's
Joey Zanaboni. I don't know if you had a chance to hear his calls of the 5 goals on Saturday night. Well, we're going to be able to talk it over with him about it on Thursdays. Ladies and gentlemen, friend of the program, sponsored segment, Joey Zanaboni.
Leuven from about 15 yards outside the box. Biz went toward the spot. Genie went for the header. Now it's dropped. Oh, baby! He scores!
Get a card.
That ball was getting hammered like an out-of-pocket hardware store holiday party. Holy Moses! Nelson gets to his former team. Centering for Genie. Steps over one, fires a shot, deflects back into there. Yeah! In the back of the cage! 2-0 City leads! Bounce into the corner for Stroud. Jared.
This is a goal.
In the middle. A header ends up in the back. And City's up 3-0.
On the second phase of the restart again.
It's the magic man from Missouri State, Kyle Hebert. Popped outside toward midfield. City sweeps it forward. Palm flicking on for Genie. Penalty. Oh, Genie! He scores! It's 4-0 City! Here's Leuven centering a Cincy head. Reads it. Dismissed but not completely. Rasmus up. Hits the post. Hits the goalie. The box is in. 5-0! Rasmus lasering it home like a mail order hair removal kit.
Okay, that's a good one.
He's big on the hair removal thing. He's used that like 4 times.
The sales team had to have been peacocking around the room when they brought that up, right? The Joey Zanaboni.
Oh,
that's
it's going to be outstanding.
Who's the sponsor, if I can ask? I don't want to piss anybody off if I
I'm not sure
don't like his calls.
The company, but they said there is interest from a sponsor in an MLS segment, and that is how it came to fruition, both on Balloon Party and on TMA. So Taylor Twellman today at 10:30. We're hoping to have Lynn Worthy of the Post-Dispatch. Has he responded as of yet?
He has not.
Pitch out, nobody going.
We got a big one Friday.
Yeah, I talked about it, I think, while you were out.
Oh, okay.
Well, not while you were out. While you were on with Ned Reynolds.
Oh, okay.
That's huge, though. I'm super excited.
Yeah, he's going on with Riz at 8:55, and we're going to do him before Riz.
Incredible.
So he's in studio.
Yeah.
That's outstanding.
God, I'm so upset I'm going to miss
Jackson's not going to be around.
I didn't even know he
really
did stand up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He's come to St. Louis a couple times in the past couple of years.
Where's he going to be?
Probably Funny Bone?
No, he's at the...
I'm guessing Helium.
Yeah, Helium Club.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's done stand-up now for a while, and he's as Ari Gold. It doesn't get much
Three Emmys and a Golden Globe.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize this. It was a bit part, and I can't even remember if anybody would know what he was in. But he was in White Palace.
Yeah.
Which was filmed in St. Louis.
Oh.
Dogtown, baby, Dogtown.
He was in Heat. He was in the film Heat.
Yeah, I don't remember him in that either.
He was the doctor who Val Kilmer demanded he give him his shirt.
Yeah, Val Kilmer
and he said, or his tie. He said, "My daughter got me this for Father's Day." That was He had some, and then he was also in Old School. He was the principal in Old School.
That's right.
Hey, Cheese.
He was in Seinfeld.
I look at my
He
cheese
was.
anymore.
He was George Costanza.
Yeah, he played George Costanza.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of things, but Azari Gold, I mean, one of the great
iconic.
characters of all time.
He got a great net worth going for him, too, I happen to look at. You know, seeing as you want to kind of avoid those questions when they're in.
Sure, of course. Yeah, there's this site that everybody sends their tax returns to so they can publicize their net worth, and then it's accurately put on the internet. Mount Rushmore of television characters on HBO shows since 2000. Wow. Or no, HBO shows, period. And then that way I can include Hank Kingsley.
Yeah, there you go.
And he was on Larry Sanders' show.
He was.
I didn't remember that either.
Oh, my God, I'll be able to ask him about Larry Sanders.
Yeah, he was a writer.
He was.
The first season.
Oh.
Good call.
I was already excited about the interview, and now, oh, God, thank you for reminding me.
He was like
I'd
a really
forgotten all
angsty.
about that.
He was like a really angsty writer, wasn't he?
Oh, my God.
And he said he
that's
quit
outstanding.
because they weren't developing his character. He had no
Is that right?
background or anything. He said, so
Really?
I just got tired of the character.
Oh, I can't wait to ask him about that.
Tim, to your Mount Rushmore question.
Mount Rushmore, Hank Kingsley. I think that Brian Cox's Logan Roy on Succession is. I really do, and I think that's. I think that might be. Some might say Prisoner of the Moment, but I think 5 years from now. And then you got to go into the weeds. I mean, what are considered the greatest shows? I think Ari Gold's is live. I think it's got to be live.
Sopranos.
And then is Tony Soprano, or would people go into a different character on Sopranos? But if they do, I don't know which one it would be outside of Tony Soprano.
Chrissy or Paulie. People love Paulie Walnuts.
I was about to say, the one that I was thinking of was Paulie Walnuts.
Yeah, people love Chrissy, too. Chris Moltisanti.
I would definitely throw Al Swearingen in there from Deadwood.
Yeah, Deadwood is not on people's, like, if you were to bank, like, top 10 of HBO shows. I don't know how many Deadwoods you would get, but for people who've seen it, yeah, Al is incredible. I think Game of Thrones characters, but it's such a big ensemble
I don't
show.
think that'll work.
Yeah.
Except, like, maybe on... Yeah, I don't know if there's one particular Tyrion Lannister would be like the one I think people would lean to.
Oh, see,
that's a nice play.
I got Omar from The Wire.
Yeah, Michael K. Williams.
That would be one.
And
Omar coming.
And I have
Stringer Bell.
Major Winters from Band of Brothers. I have Arya Stark. And I think I got to put Tony Soprano in there. Yeah. And I don't really like The Soprano, but I think that character just holds weight.
From Entourage, I would actually put Drama ahead of Ari for me personally. But
he
that's
annoyed
just
the hell out of me.
I think Drama's the funniest character.
Sasha Grey was pretty good in that, too.
Sasha Grey to have an
It
appearance.
was a small arc, but
Yeah,
you can put her
Lisa
in
Ann
there.
was in it.
She showed full... No, she was in Billions. I don't think she was in Entourage.
I don't think she was in Entourage
Billions.
either.
Tegan Presley was in Entourage.
There were... Jesse Jane was in there.
Tegan Presley.
Tegan
and there was
Presley.
a third one. I don't remember who the third one
I don't
was.
either.
Jesse
Sasha-
Jane. Jesse Jane. She
you already said Jesse
I mentioned
Jane.
Jesse.
Oh, okay.
They walked to the hotel room.
Right.
Yeah.
But Sasha Grey
Lane Wilson.
was dating. Which one? Was she dating Drama?
Really?
Like in real
Which
life?
one? No, on the
Vinny
show.
Chase.
Sasha Grey was dating Vinny.
Vinny, okay. Yeah, because she got out of the pool with full frontal.
Yes,
And she had a
did.
bush.
Yes, that was
Fun.
That was a tough season for Adrian Grenier because we found out he couldn't act.
Really?
Oh, he's so bad. In season 7 of Entourage, when he has like the
Like
drug
this
problem,
This is well known.
I think people like if you were to like talk about Entourage, it's like people loved it. It was perfect in its time, but like the star of the show, the guy who's supposed to be this incredible movie star, is really not that good of an actor. And it's shown he hasn't done much.
He
since.
really hasn't.
He was in Devil Wears Prada, but that was like kind of during it. But he has not done much, and he is like
He just did a
I don't think
Hallmark.
he's
He just did
great
a Hallmark movie, which that's the end of your career.
actor.
pretty much.
I don't think he's
did he
very
really?
good.
Yeah, but I think he just starred in a somebody that I keep in touch with a little bit. She was on the was it an HBO? Yeah, it was an HBO show. Tell Me You Love Me, a very quick one season. And I keep in touch with her. And I forgot her name.
Wow.
She just
story had no legs.
She just directed a movie.
Just died.
She just directed a movie with him as the lead, and I think it was one of those straight to
Straight to the web?
PODs, whatever.
Season 7 of Entourage is not good, and if you rewatch it again, it'll be as clear as day. That's from Deke Dotem.
It's bad. It's not good at all.
I guess I'm gonna have to rewatch it and then see what's doing.
Season 7 and 8, and then the movie are not good. But seasons 1 through 4 are unassailable. Like they're incredible.
Yeah, the movie, I don't even believe it got 10 on Rotten Tomatoes. That's how bad it was.
It was bad. It was not good.
The movie went terrible.
It got put up against Straight Outta Compton, so like the numbers on the movie were really bad.
And how great was that?
Yeah, we can talk to Ari about that. How bad was that movie?
I'll probably tell you.
The actor who played Vince was just on that Entourage podcast. He apparently had a falling out with the show creator.
Yeah, Doug Ellen is the show creator.
What was the falling out?
I have yet to listen to it. I can't wait to listen to it because they've been trying to get they've been doing this podcast since the pandemic started.
And who's doing it again?
Doug Ellen, who created the show.
Uh-huh.
Kevin Conley, who played
Right.
Eric, and then Kevin Dillon, who played Drama.
Got it.
They run this podcast, and they've done probably 400 episodes. And Adrian Grenier, who played Vince, had yet to come on. He had never come on. And, like, they said that they had a good relationship with him still, but he just wouldn't come on their podcast. And it was really weird because he'd go on other podcasts, but just not theirs. And so I guess they finally got him on. I can't wait to listen to it.
That's kind of
And
cool.
the falling out took place while he was on the pod? I know you haven't listened to this. This isn't fair. But the falling out took place while he was on the podcast, or the falling out had taken place in advance?
I believe in advance.
Okay.
He's a very big environmentalist. Adrian Grenier, who played Vince, he's very big into the environment and the works to improve our Earth. And so he was like, it was almost like this, like he was like asking them to like donate their time to be on the, like do environmental stuff to come on their podcast. It was very strange.
Tim, cancel culture stuff is what caused it, I think, not wanting to be associated with that character anymore. That's from the 314.
Cancel culture existing at the time of Entourage, though?
No, but that's why that's why Entourage was able to exist.
Oh, gotcha.
What was wrong with his character? He had a bunch of buddies. They made it big in Hollywood, and he was banging a bunch of people.
Yeah, I don't think I see the Me Too in that.
The Ari and Lloyd stuff has not aged well, I would say. There's not some great stuff, and if you rewatch it, there's some things you could not say.
Somebody texted in, Danny McBride as Kenny Powers needs to be considered.
Yeah, boy, that's a great call.
Oh, my God.
Such a good call.
That is
Or
a
Will Ferrell's
nice
character.
play. God, now I really got to...
Man, the
You
first
have
two
to have
seasons
something
of
from
that.
Sopranos, and so I guess I'll go Tony Soprano.
Yeah.
But Paulie Walnuts would be live.
Larry Sanders, not Larry Sanders.
Hank Kingsman.
Yeah,
Hank King,
but
I mean, I think Hank King. I think the work of Gary Shandling, Rip Torn, and Jeffrey Tambor put HBO on the map as far. And I realize for most of our audience, I was young for that, much less people who weren't born who are listening to this show. But that's what I think it took off. It really got popular with Hollywood. It had mainstream success, but it was really because Hollywood's like, oh my God, this is an exact representation of what it's like behind the scenes at Carson, Letterman. Leno was coming into his own at that time, and they had depicted it perfectly, and a lot of it was cutting humor that hadn't been done yet. And I think what it did was it set the stage for shows now that we take for granted, and how creative HBO is. I mean, what HBO has done for television entertainment over the last 30 years. That's why that book by James Andrew Miller.
Disappointing.
I didn't finish it, so it's not fair, but I didn't finish it because it wasn't entertaining to me. It was just like a bunch of C-suite stuff, and I'm just like, I didn't,
That and Oz. I think Oz really put them on the map in terms of like what we now see as prestige TV, where they're like, oh, this show looks like a movie and feels like a movie. Yeah, it's a TV show,
Right.
which has now led to Sopranos, The Wire, Game of Thrones, Succession. Like
Larry David is.
Yeah, that's a nice play. How could we forget something from Curb Your Enthusiasm?
I'll go James
I got to go,
Booth.
though. I got to go to the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. Hey, guys. Just like to share a quick story about the influence of TMA. I was just in a conversation with my coworker about a project that we had coming up, which ended up losing funding and is now considered dead. For some reason, I said, projects come, projects go. Ah, yes, projects. My coworker paused for a second, looked at me with a confused look, then proceeded on with the conversation. Thanks a lot, everyone. That comes from Boner McShoe.
I bet that was terribly awkward.
Can you imagine if you're in a serious meeting and something just failed? Projects come and go. Projects come, projects go. Ah, yes, project.
Good one.
That's getting a raise.
Boner McShoe.
They're like, are you trying to?
The best is the history of where that comes from. And Zipra Zeppa, I need Doug in here when I tell this story. You know, Iggy, you would remember this. Jackson would have no idea what we're talking about. Remember with the Zippo Awards? And he made, television now, it didn't necessarily pay him much. But back in the 80s, I mean, he was everything. And I don't know what it matter what he made. But he was making a lot of money, probably 2 times or maybe even 3 times what the highest paid person in St. Louis television makes now, because everybody would watch the Zippo Awards.
Oh, yeah.
And KMOV kind of kept it around. So even when I was anchoring at KMOV, but they buried them on my Saturday sportscast at 6 o'clock. And so I had to run them. And at that point, I think Zip was kind of just mailing it in. And there was a cat going up the foul line at like the Expos ballpark with nobody around. And then it walked back down. That's where the cat walks up the foul line. The cat walks down the foul line. Ah, yes, the cat. And I remember the co-anchor I was working with, every Saturday he would lean in, and you know, the monitors are in the anchor desk. That's where you see, like when you're ad-libbing highlights, that's what you're looking down at. The monitors are in the desk. And he would lean in and he goes, why do we air this every week? It's terrible. And it was one of my favorite things. And I'm like, God, I grew up worshiping Zipper Zep, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm watching Willie Mays fall around with the Mets. Let's see. Good morning. This message is from Mr. Burkett. I'm calling from the Smoky Mountains to confirm your reservation and review your special request before you arrive for your, quote, best buddies bash. It looks like you and 11 of your closest male friends have chosen our most popular package called the Intimate Escape, complete with a nightly dinner for 12, open bar, and unlimited supply of condoms. I see here that you only need 10 beds because Gareth, Jackson, and Herb will be, quote, bunking up together. That's fine, but let's discuss the special items you have requested. You'd like 1 gallon of unscented lube, an oversized yellow cummerbund flotation device for nostalgia purposes, plenty of SPF 2000 sunblock for your milky white skin, a Lexington steel-sized lava lamp to help set the mood, a copy of the book How to Intentionally Miss an Easy Putt So You Don't Beat Your Boss in a Golf Match, and an extra set of earplugs so you can't hear all the grunting and moaning coming from the other bedrooms. You've also requested a life-size Quinn Snyder body pillow, just in case one of your buddies is using yours for too long. Whatever that means. Finally, it's also here, says here that you want a Dennis Gates impersonator to frantically come into your cabin and say, okay, everybody huddle up. There's 10 seconds left in the NCAA championship game, and we're down by 1 point. Get the ball to Jackson and clear out. He'll know what to do to help us win our first natty. Jackson, I believe in you, son. Tigers on 3. 1, 2, 3, Tigers! Thank you. While I appreciate your effort, we obviously can't provide any of these additional amenities because we are not a fancy 5-star resort. It says right on our website that we're simply a 1-star cabin in Tennessee where dudes can appreciate a scenic mountain view while they bang each other. We look forward to seeing you and the rest of the Dirty Dozen at check-in on Thursday. That's from the JV golf coach.
You bet.
Ours is the type of presentation where listeners feel free to pop in at any time and invite themselves to... I just lost my computer here. I apologize. Jackson, you might have to get on the clock. I don't know what happened to my email. This is the Buck Swope email.
Listeners feel free to pop in at any time and invite themselves to have a scotch and share nudes with their wives. You back? Or should I keep going?
Go, keep going.
Did you know it's a kind of a union law that people that smoke get 15 minutes an hour to get a smoke break? Well, when I say kind of, I mean I wish. And when I say union law, I mean non-union, because I haven't been part of a union since being forced out of Bermuda as a union-busting tactic over 30 years ago. But wouldn't it be great if there was a law that allowed smokers to F around for 25% of their workday while remaining on the clock? It would really do wonders for productivity and health on the macro scale. While we're at it, let's make another law that allows me to duck out of my job while also remaining on the clock in order to do a radio hit for a guy I don't even like on a station, the 75th largest media market in the country, where all I do is about BS about sports teams I don't watch. Now, I wanted to take a minute to talk about mental health, the importance of spending time with your real friends and having organic contact with other human beings. Now, on that note, can we pass a mental health in the workplace law that allows me to bang other people's wives while I remain on the clock? That's from Buck Swope.
Buck Swope just sent in an email. Iggy, would you like to address any of those?
No. I mean, there's some kind of law that allows you to smoke.
There is? Cletus texted me actually about that like 2.5 hours ago. I forgot. Let's see what he says. Well, I got a lot of text during the show now that I'm scrolling down. I love me some Iggy, but as a union company owner for over 30 years, never has there ever been a rule about smoke breaks. That's from Cletus.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's just an office to let people do it. I don't know.
Just a quick summary. Hour 1, HD2 recap show of the show simultaneously going on next door to you dorks, dangling a carrot in front of the withering carrot in the form of learn, maybe, possibly, Well, we can only kind of speculate, but she may be into threesomes. The Cardinals suck, so let's put the Dixie Cups against the walls and listen in to Riz and the gang. Hour 2, a deep dive on a fan page post about Ken, where everyone armchair quarterbacked their thoughts on his state of mind, even though the man is perfectly fine. The Pornhub machine and the FEMA trailer still works. Everyone relax. And finally, hour 3, breathing notice Darren playing with tinfoil for recess hour, trying to get some 9:30 a.m. barbecue smoked poultry, all after taking down a candy-laden family-size Rice Krispie treat, an oil drum of Coca-Cola. Compelling stuff. That comes from Los Weed. And that's what we have for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. Iggy, you start things off. What you got?
JV golf coach.
I love the term oil drum of Coca-Cola. So recency bias, if nothing else, Los Wiener.
Carlos Spicy Wiener is shipped the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day, and he is on the board for the month of April. KG in O-Town, anything we haven't gotten to you? Have you got any poultry?
No, I'm poultry-free right now, but if there's some left, I may come get some.
There's 3 tins of stuff in here.
Is this chicken?
We got buns in one.
Those are turkey ribs.
Turkey ribs, and we have the turkey sausage, which I had, which is unbelievable. I think it's a brat, actually. I may be wrong.
It is
brat. Unbelievable.
Is that right?
The spices and the seasonings.
Jackson and I are going to go down the hallway. We'll deal with a live situation. We'll be blamed for the Cardinals' current state. And we'll talk it over with Taylor Twellman. I'm looking forward to that. Coming up at 10:30, his first hit. He will be with us every Tuesday at 10:30 on Balloon Party. And we will be joined every Thursday on this program by Joey Zanaboni. All right, it is time for us to shut it down. For the Plowhawk, for Action Jackson, and for the vacationing Douglas Elvin Vaughn. For KG in O-Town, for Kenneth Iggy Strode, for my brother Kevin, I'm Tim McKernan. The Spin. Ryan Kelly, morning after from the Michelob Ultra Studios.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios.